Huh.
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Hey, Carlos, I am doing good, thank you. I am trying to reset a password as we're talking here. Yeah, it's I every day I sink just more, Carlos, into vacation mode. I'm not on vacation, but you know
Yes,
what?
love it.
This is teaching me that I need to take more frequent vacations. It's just been too long. Like I normally take a vacation every 3 months. I'm doing something at the minimum or at a maximum, I mean. And here it's been since like last May, and even in my memory, it doesn't feel like a vacation because I'm running a marathon. I feel like I was working. So,
Yeah, yeah. No,
anyways,
it's important
first
to have
world
that to
problems,
look
right?
forward to, right? You got to have that to look forward to. I think it's important. Too many gets too much. The travel's not fun. Getting on the plane, that's not fun. But when you stagger them like 3 months at a time, that's pretty good, Peter. 3 months is good. It's
Mm,
a great ratio.
yeah, I
You
gotta
know?
get back. Gotta get back on that schedule. Anyways, again,
Yeah.
first world problems. I got nothing to complain about. Life is grand. Let's talk trading because we had some interesting stuff happen yesterday. Hopefully, we'll have more interesting stuff today.
Yeah, absolutely, friends. Let's jump right into our U.S. economic calendar, see what's going on for today, and then we'll dive into our gappers list to check out everything that's happening plus earnings. We had a bunch of earnings happen last night, three major ones that Peter will get into in just a moment here.
Yeah, so let's start talking about today. Today we have the jobless claims to look forward to. Start with the initial and the continuing jobless claims numbers that just came out. They're looking. I mean, they're pretty much on target. In fact, I should update these for you so you can see what they look like. We're basically talking 100 and initial jobless claims. I got the number wrong here. I just realized that on the screen. It should be 206,000, not 200 and 60, and the number came out at 209, and the ongoing it came out at 1.827 million. And that's, again, within the margin of error, frankly, for this data. Non-farm productivity was the other one that I was looking at. It came out exactly on target at 4.9%. So as you can see, like really not much change there. Later this morning, we do have the factory orders and wholesale inventories. None of these are the ones that the market cares about. What they do care about is the number that came out yesterday. And for anybody that was trading yesterday afternoon, you would have seen that the Fed announced their latest rate decision, and it frankly was a big nothing burger. It really was. They came out right on target, which means they did not change the target rate, which is exactly what analysts were anticipating. And that is spelled good news for the market overall, but really boring trading. So essentially, nothing happened. The market did its normal, a little dip, but it moved back and it went up and down during the press conference, but not much. Like there wasn't really much to trade. Now, what was more interesting, frankly, were the earnings that we did have after the close yesterday. And we're going to talk about those because, of course, they're on our gappers list. And it was a big three. Tesla, Meta, and Microsoft all had earnings and a bunch more. But we'll get to those when we talk about the gappers.
Yep, we sure will, friends. Speaking of the gappers list, here's what we got going on today. We got a lot on both sides. I'm gonna refresh this, make sure that we're up to date. But there's a lot on both sides of the field this morning. You can see here tons of stuff in the green, and more in the red. I mean, so yeah, it should be a very interesting day, especially with the earnings that we're gonna be looking at as well in just a moment here. Let's start with the first one. A few that are gapping up this morning. NAM, NAMM is the ticker. Here we are Nabin Minerals. I don't think we've seen this many times, but it is up 20% this morning. 4 million shares traded, sitting on a low flow. TradingTerminal.com, friends, where we get this gappers list from. You can also do the same. Head over to TradingTerminal.com. You can look at all the tools we have: funded account, scanners, market atlas. I mean, you name it, it's all there for you. One-stop shop. 3.1 million shares afloat on this one. So on the lower side, daily looks good though. Look at the daily. on this lower was once a under $1 penny stock. I mean, slowly just climbing higher and higher. Big day yesterday and today, looking to add on to these gains of the last couple of days. So, Peter, this is looking good. Again, low flow ticker, probably not going to watch it, but man, has it been in play lately?
Yeah, Namib Minerals. They're a gold company out of the Cayman Islands, so you can tell you're tax sheltering as soon as you're going to the Cayman Islands, aren't you? Anyways, this is an African gold producer. Look, gold continues like silver. We've been focused on silver just because it's been such a story, but gold's along for the ride too. It hit over $5,500 an ounce. And as such, it's pushing a lot of the gold miners. So we're going to see them here. Gold actually big gap up if you look at the actual futures prices here. So a bigger jump today than silver. So is gold back? Let's not get too excited, right? It's one morning, but still, these prices. It is actually starting to become very worrying because while it's exciting in the short term, it has cascading economic challenges that it could cause. And oddly, we haven't really seen much of that impact, but there are people that are starting to get worried, and they know more than I do. So if they're worried, I'm worried. That's all I know.
there it is. Not much to see here. Again, low flow stock. It is in play. I'm not gonna be watching it, friends. I think there'll be some really good stocks today that we can focus on. Like the next one coming up here, Meta. Normally not a stock that I love to trade, but given their situation last night with earnings and all that fun stuff, it will definitely be on my list. Look at this, $700 stock. This is starting to get pretty expensive. I mean, you don't have to take a boatload of shares on it because it can move like $5 pretty easily, so that's okay. But man, wasn't this like falling apart just a year ago? Wasn't it just like the world was ending on it? And now look at it here, back at a 700. All right, so in play for sure. Peter, clearly earnings last night. What's the latest and greatest?
Yeah, now look at it go, right? Look, first I could say the common thread, you're going to hear this pretty much any stock that has anything to do with technology, which is pretty much everything these days. They're going to talk about AI. AI. Oh my God, it's all about AI. Anyways, but Meta is one of the few companies that is starting to, they can demonstrate direct payoffs for their AI investment. What is fascinating to me is that like Meta has done really well in these earnings. Microsoft not so well. Microsoft arguably has maybe a better AI story, but it's a tougher one to tell because what they focused on is trying to build AI into their tools, which you would hope would be the idea, right? You get smarter ways to make charts and presentations, to make work go simpler. You can run your spreadsheets, more intelligently with greater oversight. Tougher story to tell to a lot of people compared to say, we're using AI to make better targeted ads, which sells more stuff. So basically, it's all about ads. So Meta's story is simple, right? Ads equals money. Money I can put to the bottom line very quickly. I hate to say it, everyone, but when I saw this story on Meta today, it really made me think. Remember when the early days of the interweb, as I like to call it,
The
what
World Wide
pushed the
Web?
technology? What drove everything? Porn. Whether you like it or not, it was porn that drove new
Really?
need for
I don't
bandwidth.
think so. It was?
Absolutely. The porn sites took off,
No.
revenues skyrocketed. But it wasn't because that was not publicly traded stuff. It really drove a lot of adoption of technology, the drive for bandwidth. It was the biggest growing segment and it dominated a lot of the bandwidth early. I'm talking early on.
Okay,
Anyways, I
okay.
say that
Yep,
only
yep.
because it feels like that's what AI is. The advertising revenue is the porn of, the AI sector, and it's driving. Is that what we aspire to? To sell us more crap faster and make it less resistible? I don't know. Like it just feels like we can do better, people. So, but you know what? It seems to be that's what we use to drive things, right? Whether it's porn or ads. And yes, you can take this to the bank. I am equating those two. So it is what it is. Anyways, but it just fascinating. But it's an easy story, and Meta is reaping the benefits today. It's in play. So let's put it on the list. I think because It's got some interest. Keep in mind, all this after hours trading is always the low volume stuff. So let's wait and see what happens when the market opens and when the deep pocketed, investors decide what they're going to do. Do they like the story? Do they believe it? Meta looks like it's in a great place on the daily. I love where it's sitting right now. I think it's set up for a good play. And I don't see any headwinds, right? There's no big news expected. We have all sorts of political turmoil happening across the U.S. But Meta, as a global company, I think they could largely ignore that, and this could be a good trading day for Meta. Let's see if that proves to be true.
Yeah, I agree. I normally do not watch Meta. I think it trades horrible, but today clearly a much different animal this morning. 1.5 million shares traded, and man, it traded actually. Earnings are tough to trade. I don't trade earnings, but looking at this, seems like it traded pretty clean, right? And a beautiful
It wasn't
continuation.
bad,
So
yeah.
yeah, if you're able to capitalize on the early moves after hours, I mean, you can see how well it did, and it never lost it. This is always a great sign, I think, for companies when they don't lose the gap up, right? Because usually after the call or something, like, oh, okay, things are not so great, they come back down. This one kept it all the way, and it's gapping up here
Now,
9.2. So looking good.
yeah. Now, Jeremias makes a good point, and Jeremias, I wanted to talk about that. I was going to talk about when we got to some of the others, but there is also this battle going on for who can spend the most, right? And it feels like there's some sort of like, remember when the mega rich used to measure their wealth and how big their yacht was, right? When Ballmer, the CEO of Microsoft way back when, was comparing the size of his yacht to Oracle. What was the Oracle guy? He's still the CEO. He's like 800 years old and he's still CEO. I can't remember his name right now. Anyways, but they used to have this whole yacht battle. Ellison, thank you. Larry Ellison. And anyways, it was a whole yacht thing, and then a bunch of others tried to get in on the game. And anyways, now it seems to be they're measuring the size of their junk based on how much they can spend in AI. And Elon and Zuckerberg are getting into this battle where they're both announcing all sorts of additional investment. And yes, Meta is the first to be able to demonstrate actual return on their AI. But let's not kid ourselves. The amount they're making on ad revenue is it's tough to actually pinpoint how much of the increase is due to AI and just because maybe they're increasing, advertising dollars, which you expect them to do. But Meta says that they're going, and Zuckerberg says that they're going to double their capital spending next year to as much as 135 billion next year alone. Like he's already spent $500 billion on AI and Meta. They're not making that back in ad revenue, at least not yet. And it's hard to fathom how they're going to. Elon is also talking about stepping up, the investment where Tesla's not spending on that level. They're talking about spending about $20 billion on AI in this next year. But it's just how many billions can you throw at it? Like it seems it just seems crazy. I mean, I don't know where all the money is expected to come from to pay for it, but what it does show you is how much money these companies have to put into it in the first place, right?
Right.
Fascinating article one of our members sent us, and I won't go on too long about this, but just to say, when they were talking about ChatGPT, one of the, if you look at the background, if that as a non-traded entity in OpenAI had any sort of falter or collapse, which there is a risk right now of it doing that because of, anyways, a number of factors. So many companies have invested in it. It could start taking down or at least reduce the market cap and the market value of a significant number of companies, including, Meta and NVIDIA, of course, which is now invested, and so many other companies that remember all those announcements of them putting hundreds of millions of dollars and more and billions into OpenAI. Yeah, there's a big Ponzi scheme. We've been joking about it for a while, but it's not so funny if it actually starts to collapse.
Mm.
So,
Very true. Very true.
yeah.
All right, friends, there it is. Let's continue. Let's see what else we have here. Again, I think it's going to be a great day of trading yesterday. Today compared to yesterday. So looking forward to it. All right, let's see what else we have. AMPX. AMPX this morning, another one on our gappers list. What do we have here? We are up 8% on this one, 383,000 shares trade, so not that much volume. The flow is 121 million, so you do got plenty of here to go around. So again, not a low flow, so nothing to worry about. The price is a little bit lower, but again, I'm not sure about this one. Pre-market looks okay, starting to get some volume. I do like the daily, the way it's breaking out here. Normally does not get great volume, but I do like the breakout you're getting, and clearly you have some levels that you're going after, or you can aim for if it does decide to run. So I think I need to see a little bit more though, Peter. So I'm gonna put it on my secondary list. What's the news on it, if anything?
I don't really know. The only thing I can see is that Needham, as an analyst, initiated coverage on them with a buy rating and a $20 price tag, which is the highest of any of the analysts so far. But I don't actually see any company news.
All right, awesome. I love this question from Bikers2041. He's asking on the email here on the chat, should one become where is it? I lost it here. Should one become a member on YouTube? Is the question. Yes, you absolutely should. What a way to word that. It felt like I had to read it like in the King James version tone.
Is that him referring to himself in the third person? Should
I love
one
it.
become a member?
I think it's great.
Anyway,
I think it's awesome. So since you asked,
yes, one should.
One shall become.
What do you think
a
we're going to
member.
say? We're a little self-serving, but
we're a little biased, just
it.
a tad. Just a tad. But if you do become a member of the Lambos and Garstruck family, my friend, you do get an opportunity to win a funded account. We give one away every single day here live. Plus videos. You got tons of videos we release weekly to our members only on YouTube that you get access to.
Wait.
And most important, I think this is the most important for me. You get the garbage truck. Like you can actually use the garbage truck emoji. That to me is priceless. I became a member just for that. So I could use these things over here.
Can we go back to that promotional image you had and AI Andrew?
This AI Andrew. Yeah.
Look at that.
Looks pretty good.
Handsome lad. That's like what a pretty man. There's something like it's Andrew, but it's also not quite Andrew. I think
yes. If you don't know him the way me and you do, or like the community, we see him every day, we know it's not him. But if somebody quickly glances at it, that's Andrew. Like it's that good, you know?
Yeah, that's freaky. I want an AI me that looks like that. There's something. Anyways,
it's easy to do, man. So easy to do. You can now take your phone and just take a couple of pictures, like a thumbprint of your face, upload it, and there you go. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was looking at other stuff going on in Minnesota. Obviously, it's all over our feed. You can't escape it. Minnesota stuff is just constantly in your face. It's everywhere. And the guy that unfortunately lost his life, they found like another video of him. Right, I don't care about what he's doing. I'm not worried about that. But the fact that now everything is recorded and you can find somebody that quickly on a random other video from a couple of days ago just tells you how technology is just insane. And they did some face recognition. They were able to find them. Obviously, they spent a lot of time doing that. But it's crazy, man. Everything is recorded. I see videos of like the rings, like when they're trying to follow a car that did something wrong, they look at different cameras and they kind of can do the path where he went on ring cameras. It's out of control, man. So yeah, a little bit scary, but
that's an actual interesting use of AI when they take the photo. Especially a lot of the footage is grainy, and you get people who are just in the background. And you're right, Carlos. They're able to scan
catch them.
Millions of hours of uploaded video in all sorts of random spots and say, okay, so Peter was in these 8 videos, so he can track, all the things I was at or every time I stepped out in public. And yeah, it's a little, it's a little crazy.
It's crazy. I stay watching these murder documentaries and how they catch people is really exciting. Like the technology behind it. Like they went through an Easy Pass, and then the camera from the Easy Pass realized that was not his wife driving; it was actually him. I mean, it's just crazy.
You watch murder documentaries?
Murder documentaries, plane crashes, and other investigations behind. I love that stuff, man.
There was a lady that Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, so it's funny because the Saturday Night Live likes to do some parodies of like women sitting down and watching these murder documentaries.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny because I think of my one of my daughters will say all the time because she loves the murder documentaries, but I'm like, well, let's watch an action movie, and she's like, oh, I don't like the action movies. They're just too violent. But then she goes and spends she'll spend all night watching these murder documentaries.
They're scarier,
showing like autopsies of the body and talking about like 18-time over serial killers, and like she, perfectly fine with that, but I don't want an action movie. That's too much. And I'm like, I don't understand. Anyway.
Yeah, they're actually more scary. I want to be prepared. Like if I'm gonna get killed, I want to know how it's gonna happen so I could defend myself. But that's a whole nother story. Let's get back to stocks. Because Yama's he's like, get back to stocks. I'm
You
like,
think
yes,
that's going to
let's get.
prepare you? All right.
It's gonna prepare me. At least I know how it's gonna happen. All right.
All right.
AMPX. I'm adding this one to my secondary list, friends. And look at this. Bikers did join, so
Really?
he took our advice. Yeah, welcome to the Lambos and Garbage Truck family, my friend.
All
Good luck
right.
today on the draw.
Welcome then.
Welcome and enjoy all that stuff. So AMPX will go on my secondary list. Let's continue here. Roller, we've seen this one before. We already know the news on this. These guys keep announcing things. They announced again their letter of intent with another different company, with Crypto.com and some other ones. Like every day on Think or Swim, I get the alert that they're doing something else, right? So here it is. They're up 13% this morning. How tradable it is, I'm not sure. It is a low flow ticker sitting at under 1 million. I won't be watching today, Peter, but these guys continue to show up. It's going to be exciting to see 5 years down the line if this thing is going to work out.
I mean, pardon me. So the old man hat firmly on my head here. This is a company called High Roller that they're in the prediction markets. Their previous announcements have been all about how they're, partnering to set up these predictive markets, which is basically a gambling scheme to take your money. That's Peter's view. High Roller, send me the lawsuit. But, anyway, so today they announced a letter of intent with a company called Kindbridge Behavioral Health for responsible gambling. Well, look, if you were really into responsible gambling, you wouldn't run your business model. They just do this because they have to, and it's part of a PR process. Come on, man. Who are you trying to kid? Anyway, it's got them in the news. Their stock's moving again today.
All right, we'll see. I'm waiting for the reverse split. And they usually end up doing some weird stuff when they do this. So let's see what happens. All right, let's continue, friends. What do we have here? We looked at Meta NAM. FCX is up nicely here, friends. Freeport is up 7.5, 946,000 shares traded. The daily has been rocking here, Peter. Doesn't look like a great intraday trading tickers. But it's getting better. You could tell by the daily here. The days are a little bit wider than they are here. Here you could tell this looks like a foreign stock. Very small days. Even though it's moving higher, you could tell there's not a whole lot of trading happening. So getting better here. What's your thoughts on it? And is it in play for us today?
Freeport McMoran. This is a large miner with a big focus on copper mining and copper. So we focus on the top, gold, silver. Maybe we should go to copper. It's not bronze, but because bronze is an actual, anyways, it's an alloy. But copper. It hit record prices as well, and that's moving Freeport stock. It's a miner. You know that I typically don't like the miners. So and it plays out. You look at the charts, they don't trade all that well. So good story. Commodity prices are going up. Doesn't mean you can trade it.
Yeah. Don't like it. We'll move on here to BNAI. This is the one that's been going insane, friends. I'm going to watch it just to see what it does today. But if you look at the daily here, BNAI went all the way up to 85 yesterday, 86, 30 something, 86 something there. It's wild. It's wild. And if you look at the day, was it, I didn't trade this day, but I went back to see what was going on. I think it was the day that I was off. It dropped here to 26. Look how much it dropped. And how much it recovered, like back to 60, went all the way down to 25. This is wild, man. This is trading insane. Hard to borrow, can't short it. Float on it is 2.7. I'll put it on the popcorn list, but Peter, definitely a dangerous one. You got to be very careful with.
Yeah, I think it was the Tuesday, wasn't it, that you weren't here? Because I still have PTSD from it. But anyways, BNAI, yeah, look, I was wrong because when it started to drop on that day, I thought it was down and out for the count, and yet it bounced back on the day. It moved up yesterday, spiking, like Carlos said, above $80. Like it doesn't even need news right now. It's just moving of its own volition. It seems to have this momentum. Sometimes we get these stocks, right, that they get a little bit of they're sort of like meme stocks. This one's not really memeing, but it's same effect, net effect. It's got some attention. People are trading it just because they're trading it. So there's really, I don't see any news, and certainly nothing that warrants this increase in price. I'm sure out there, you just wait, right? Early next week, You guys will have to let me know. I won't be here, so I won't care. But if they don't announce a secondary offering, I'll be shocked. I'll eat my sock. Anyways, it's just they're going to take advantage. They're going to try and take some money off the table and put it in the bank. I wouldn't be surprised to see some insider selling, although I'm not sure. This is not the type of stock where they really track that all that much. But we'll see what happens. I mean, you've got to, right? I mean, I'm looking at the insiders. The last sale of some of the offers of the company were back in December, and they were selling it at yeah, like 44 cents and at $2.58. So at different times. So come on, when your stock goes up that much, you know if you got like a trillion shares, you're going to take some off the table, aren't you? So anyways, we'll see what
Yeah.
happens with this thing, but and you know what? We may not be around to find out because we could lose interest if it stops trading volume, but I'm willing to bet
Yep.
both these things will happen.
Yeah, gonna put on the popcorn ticker here. For those who are new, the popcorn means that it's just entertainment purposes only. I want to see what it happens, what happens here at the open, but I'm not gonna seriously be looking for a trade, right? So on it. So that's what that means. All right, we looked at a couple of first few here. I see Norwegian here, NCLH on deck this morning, CLL as well. So are these guys on earnings now? I know it's usually when we see them is when they have some kind of earnings play. I don't know if they're
Yeah.
happening today or
It,
they took place already.
oddly, it's they're both sympathy moves. The one that had earnings is Royal Caribbean. And we actually see this for these stocks. I don't know why these stocks always do it. They're very sympathetic in their movements. So they tend to move together. And, you know, I don't know. Royal Caribbean often is the one that pops up, you know, sort of most on the list, but it's not the one with the earnings. So Royal Caribbean had earnings and they missed their numbers, but not by much. Like they were so close. And it really depends on what your consensus estimate number is, because depending on who you leverage in that, you could say they beat or they missed. Like, here's how close it was. They're projected to deliver 4.27 billion in revenue. They did 4.26. They're estimated to deliver $2.81 per share in earnings. They did $2.80. So we're talking about, you know, 1 point off of each essentially. So they were like they're right there. Anyways, Royal Caribbean did give what the market liked was the fact that they guided higher for the next quarter, and they said that they've got record wave season bookings. So basically, their biggest season of the year, which is the holiday season usually, but you know they're taking bookings now, of course, for that time period. So if you're a cruiser, it's apparently time to book because they're seeing record bookings. Anyways, and especially in a lot of their higher end cruises. So I don't know. People seem to want to go for the bigger, longer cruises right now. So that's good news. That news out of Royal Caribbean is pushing the other cruise lines like we started with. So NCLH and Carnival Cruise Lines are moving again in sympathy to Royal Caribbean's earnings announcement.
All right, there you go. I'm surprised at the price. I have not seen Royal Caribbean in a long time. Like I have not pulled up the ticker. Sitting at
Mm.
300, I picture the stock closer to like 40, $60, but it hasn't been there
Yep.
in years. So I kind of caught by surprise. They're sitting at
I
315 this morning.
And you're right. To me, it was one of those silent, those little quiet ones. Because when were we looking at the cruise lines? We were looking at them when everything tanked back in COVID. Remember when they
Right.
dropped? It was $100 stock then, but it dropped all the way down to like $25. It was like 150 almost, and it dropped to 25. And yeah, Carlos, look at it now. Hey, it's another one of these where clearly, you know, there's a good lesson in here for you young people, right? There is real market opportunity when bad things happen. It's terrible to say, but frankly, when companies that are unlikely to go bankrupt have huge drops in stock price due to macroeconomic factors, that's the time when you need to buffet it, when you need to jump in with a long-term investment and say this is undervalued and I can hold on to it. And Royal Caribbean, right? Like, let's face it, I mean, it's not like they've doubled their fleet. They put a bunch of new ships. This is just them running their business. And, over the last couple of years, I mean, from 2023 to now, the stock price has gone from $50 to $350. That's a good return on a longer term investment by any measure. So think about that when the next time we get a downturn. Obviously, now's not that time. The markets are just at crazy valuations, and that's what makes me worried about taking long term. But that's being said, you know what? I've been through the dot-com boom and bust, and the boom. We kept saying the boom was over, and it wasn't over for another couple of years. When it did end, it was pretty dramatic. But in the meantime, things still doubled and tripled and quadrupled from where everybody thought they were done. So who knows?
Yeah, yeah. Pick your favorites. Again, typically these are don't trade very well. CCL is another one you can look at. It tends to trade better just because it gets more volume, even when it could be a sympathy play. So even today, like Royal Caribbean will not be my go-to if I want to watch it. I'd rather watch CCL or maybe NCLH. Could be a better one. So pick your favorite out of those if you do want to watch them. All right, Peter, Starbucks. I'm gonna hop around a little bit here and then we'll send it over to you. Starbucks was incredible yesterday. What a sell-off did it have? Unfortunately, I was not able to hang around for the entire party, but man, this thing dropped pretty nice here. So after earnings, the stock tends to trade very well. Today they're gapping up 3%, 291,000 shares traded. Eventually it'll dwindle down and the volume will go away and it won't be as fun anymore. But I might put it, say, on a secondary just to see if there's any juice left from yesterday. What are your thoughts?
Ooh, see if there's any coffee left.
Oh, it's just any coffee, any caffeine, any beans
left.
Yeah,
in the tank. I don't know if Starbucks is gonna brew a fresh pot for us today, or if we're just gonna get the dregs of yesterday. I don't typically look at Starbucks as a second day play. Yes, it had a great day if you were short biased. Yesterday, it was a consistent move down. I didn't trade it either, but if you did take advantage of it, great. Today, Carlos, I honestly think there's better things, but who know? I've been wrong so many times. Who knows?
Yeah. I'll put in a secondary. We'll see what happens. All right, Pierre, let's go to you. There's again, the list just keeps getting longer and longer. Anything you like on here that you'll be watching that's gapping up?
Gap up. Well, we talked about some of the earnings. Let's talk. Let's start at the top then. Talk Tesla. Tesla's up 1.5%. And they had earnings, and it was a beat, not so much of a surprise beat, but a little bit. One of the things we were looking at last night when we did the live earnings call, and I found this new and interesting. The predictions markets, which normally don't sort of give earnings predictions, but now they're playing, and it's getting a little more mainstream media coverage, which means this might be information that's used. Now, prediction markets used to be used. I mean, it was a betting circle, right? So if anybody's ever gone to the dog track or the horse track, you know how it works, right? The higher the odds, right, the less likely something's going to win. The more likely it's going to win, usually the lower the odds, meaning you get a lower payout. Prediction markets used to work the same way, and it also is based on the number of bets, right? The odds were determined based on how many people thought it was going to happen. So the more people that jumped in, the lower the payout became over time. Prediction markets the same. I mentioned this because it's fascinating that when we looked at the top three, so Microsoft, Meta, and Tesla, we were talking about this last night. The prediction market said there was a 93% chance of Meta beating their numbers. 93% chance of Microsoft, 90% on Meta, and 17% on Tesla's side. So they didn't give it a high percentage rating, but Tesla beat their numbers. So was it a surprise? Well, the analysts thought that they were going to beat the numbers. The prediction markets thought it less likely. How do they determine that? Frankly, I have no idea. I don't really know how the algorithms work. I just know traditionally how prediction markets work. When they start applying it to unknown factor, where you've got all these existing analysts, you got to be a little nervous if you're an analyst these days, right? Because these prediction market companies like Roller that we've been talking about indirectly, but anyways, they're stepping into your space. And you haven't been online if you haven't seen any ads that said, "Is AI coming for your job?" You need to be nervous now, and you need to learn AI. If you're a market analyst, yeah, I think that's a real concern. So we'll see how that plays out. All we know is that, as we're looking for stock opportunities to trade, Tesla was a good one. It had some movement last night. It was a little crazy. It was up and down, or maybe down and up, and then down again. Still gapping up at this point. I think it's going to be in play today. Once again, like I mentioned earlier, they beat their numbers. They gave a fairly, like basically an on-target estimate going forward. They announced additional investment, another 2 billion on top of the 20 billion in AI that they mentioned before. Oddly, they were silent on some of the big things that, people sort of want to know about. Remember how it was all the talk, they were going to go gangbusters on their fully autonomous taxi services. We're hearing from a lot of their competitors, not as much from Tesla. Interestingly, it was not a focus. Their robotic systems, they definitely talked about, but, no firm commitments, although Tesla's never been good about meeting date-based commitments in the past. It's not that they're doing anything wrong. It's just they're sort of deftly skirting around some of the big ticket items that people want to know about. So, they're talking AI like everybody else, but, how, where, when, what does it mean? Come on, give me some details. Anyways, in the meantime, Tesla stock's doing okay, but they got some work to do if they want to get back to the all-time highs. So let's see what happens with it today. It's on my list.
Yeah, it'll be on my list for sure. So I'm definitely going to add it on here.
What else have we got? For earnings, a couple more earnings I should mention on the gap up here, Carlos. Last night we also had IBM. IBM was another one that gapped higher. They beat their numbers in the quarter. They announced a dividend payment of $1.68. Once again, their talk is all about AI. IBM's working hard as they often are, again, to sort of show their value. It's a little harder on the story because IBM these days, they're not consumer facing, right? It's business to business for the most part. So it's just less interesting for the media outlets to cover. But IBM, I have traded IBM. I don't mind it. It usually doesn't get a lot of volume pre-market. It is a nicey stock. It looks relatively good, but the volume's low, right? It didn't make our list because it's still under 200,000 shares. So that's why. A couple other earnings from this morning. MasterCard was announcing, and I was waiting their numbers. There you go. They came out late, but they did beat their numbers. No surprise. MasterCard always, all these credit card companies, they always beat their numbers, right? They know people aren't going to pay their bills on time. And whatever else they're doing, they're making money off the interest rate. Caterpillar was one that I look at. It's interesting to know how heavy equipment, that's usually a precursor indicator of how the economy is going to go in a quarter or two. They beat their numbers and reported strong forward bookings, and they think the next quarter is going to be good as well. Lockheed Martin is another one with LMT. Is another one with earnings that might be worth watching. So, a lot military spending obviously is up. Lockheed Martin's taking advantage, of course, more space, as they still have a lot of ongoing contracts out there. Beat their numbers quite handily actually, and did well. And the last one, nope, the other one's a gap down. So that's what I had for gap up, Carlos.
All right. Awesome, friends. Let's take a look at what's gapping. Oh, no, we're not doing that right now. No. We're not doing that.
What's going on?
Some update.
Looking at the control center?
Yeah, some updates trying to do here. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Oh, God, update. All right, so let's see what's gapping down right now. So gapping down, we have SAP leading the way this morning. They're down 15%, my friends, 1.5 million shares traded so far. So the software company not feeling it this morning. So big gap down for them, Peter. Clearly, earnings this morning. Did they report this morning, or is it something else?
Yeah, they had earnings, and this is a German software company. If anybody, SAP is the company that so many people love to hate, right? They've got one of the most complex ERP solutions in the world. They've done a lot of good things in the past, but their business model's being chewed on too by new tools and AI. It's getting so much easier to develop tools. You don't need the complexity of an SAP anymore to run your enterprise. Oracle and SAP used to live off of that. They're having to modify their business approach towards the services and sort of the point solutions rather than the integrated enterprise level solutions. That being said, they beat their numbers. However, their guidance was very weak, especially in some of their cloud services and the backlog associated. So they're not showing as much robustness there as they have had in the past. Robustness, is that even a word? Robustosity. Anyways, SAP not easily tradable.
Yeah. All right, friends. Let's continue here. So question, yeah, so good question. Our gappers list today has a lot of tickers that are on the pricier side, but a lot of these have ETFs, lower price ETF that you can trade. Like I don't know all of them, but for example, I think if you look at Tesla, right, sitting at which is not too bad, 437, you got TSLL. You can trade this one. This is 17 bucks, so it'll move with the actual price of Tesla, right? I think this is 2 times leverage, but that's okay. Just be careful with the shares you take, right? Don't take a boatload of shares just because this thing is $17. Still take a reasonable amount. And I think almost a lot of the popular ones like Meta, I don't know what Meta is. I'm sure they have one. They all have like some kind of leverage, lower price ticker that you can trade, right? So you can just Google these, they'll come right up. And I'm sure Microsoft, same thing. I mean, I find stocks sometimes that are not even popular that have an ETF. I'm like, how is this possible, right? Like they still have it. So it's a METU, METU. There it is, METU. Here it is, $39 for Meta. So you can always find these ETFs or that you can trade. It's not a problem. And then another one, FBL, was that for like Facebook? Another one here, this is for Meta as well. And then what you could do is you can watch the price action of Meta while you watch this position. We always see Andrew take this on NVDL. Is it NVDL? NVDLL? Or NVIDIA, I forget it is. Yes, NVIDIA. He always trades that here and there. So you can, there it is, NVDL. There it is. So it's always a lower price option for you to trade, right? All right, friends, let's continue here. Our gappers list, we'll do a few more. I see some minerals on deck this morning, so it looks like a lot of them stuff is gapping down today. Again, but they've been on just an incredible run. As I see USAR here, UAMI, and some other ones that are minerals, silver and so forth. All right, let's take a look at Joby as well, gapping down also 15% here. What a big drop for them. 15 million shares traded. Joby Aviation, Peter, this is one that we talked about way back when they were sitting at $6. They hit as high as 20 in the last couple of months, and they're losing some ground here, not doing so hot lately as they're down 15%, losing a level of support that they held for quite some time above 1350 looks like. So not doing so good this morning.
Yeah, and this is the type of news we don't like to trade. Sorry, they have a secondary offering. They previously announced a secondary offering. They just upsized it. So it's like going to McDonald's and upsizing things. They upsized their offering to over $1 billion now. They're issuing it below the price of the current stock at $11.35. So that's why the stock price is dropping. This typically happens. It moves down to match that. You got to keep in mind, as much as I like Joby because it's fun, this is a company with 22 million in sales last year, but they're burning $1 billion a year. So they need cash to keep things going. So yeah, it's they're getting more cash. That's what they need.
Yeah. Yeah, not the easiest news to trade. Usually I avoid that type of news. We have USAR, which clearly has been in play. They are U.S. Rare Earth Minerals, I think is the name of the company. Today they're down 2.2 million shares traded. Look at the action the last couple of days. Nice pop to 32 almost, and then right back down to 22. So it's been very, very active, increase in volume. I have not really looked at these guys. I don't think I kept them on the list. But I don't know. Could be something today. What happened this last night? Last night it took a nice little dive here. Looks like.
Yeah, USAR. Well, look, I mean, the ebb and flow of the precious metals, rare earth metals market is going to have these things moving up and down and up and down. There's not always news behind it. I don't know that I didn't see any news on USAR. Oh, that's not true. Okay, so earlier this morning they did announce also a secondary offering. They closed an issuing of another 69.8 million shares at $21.50 a share. So wow, that's a lot of shares. How many shares are in their float? 128 million. So that's like 50% added to their float. That's pretty significant. So yeah, that's very dilutive to the share price. No wonder it dropped.
Yeah. All right. So again, I won't be having that on my list, friends. Back to our gap down list. It's a bunch of other ones on here. Some of you already went through, like Microsoft. I do see CRM as I'm guessing related to SAP as well, right? CRM is a software company too, right? Salesforce. So I'm not sure what they got going on, but they're also down here this morning, down 4%, 477,000 shares trade. So another software company that's not doing so hot this morning. Is this sympathy, Peter, or they also are having issues as well?
I think it's sympathy. ServiceNow announced, and Salesforce and ServiceNow seem to sometimes move together, which makes sense. They have similar type, software applications. Anybody in the segment will get mad at me, but from an outsider perspective, it's close enough. Anyways, but NOW is the ticker for ServiceNow, and they had earnings. It was one of the ones we were watching last night, and they tried everything. I got to give them credit. ServiceNow put out their earnings. They beat their numbers in the quarter. They reminded everybody of, and they actually put a new deal on the table with Anthropic, which is going to give them better access to AI tools. They made an acquisition in AI. They announced a $5 billion stock buyback, or in fact, they added 2 million to a previous stock buyback program to make it a $5 billion stock buyback, saying they think they're undervalued and they're willing to buy their own stock with their cash reserves. Yeah, so that's like all the tricks that the companies tend to use, and still their stock dropped. So yeah, they've been on the way down, as you can see on a chart, for the better part of a year now, and it's looking. I'm sure they're grumpy over there. This time, well, at the beginning of 2025, they were probably pretty excited. At the beginning of 2026, not so much. So,
All right, there you go. All right, Peter, we'll go to you. Anything on the gap down that you like this morning, or maybe they're not showing here that you want to talk about?
well, you just mentioned ServiceNow. Microsoft, they're not gapping enough to make. Well, no, they are actually. Why aren't they on our list?
Yeah, they're here. They're there. I see them.
Oh, they are? Okay. I just didn't.
Yep.
Oh, there they are. Yeah, I see it now. Did we, anyways, if we didn't talk about it, Microsoft did actually beat their numbers. So it doesn't really matter if you beat your numbers in quarter or missed it as to whether your stock went up or down. It matters all the other stuff you talk about. So interesting, it's an earnings play, but it's never about earnings. It's always about, tell me about the future, right? What's going to happen next. And Microsoft basically said that while we beat our numbers, people looked at the detail and said their Azure numbers, which is basically their cloud services, was barely up, and that was not good enough, right? They wanted to see robust growth in the cloud segment, and they were not seeing that, and therefore Microsoft is getting punished this morning. Probably, I would look at Meta and Tesla before Microsoft, to be honest. I'd probably look at IBM before Microsoft, just because it doesn't typically move that well, but you never know. Microsoft's a funny beast where it can just move when you least expect it. So, in any event, earnings last night, and then the last one that I had for earnings this morning was Philip Morris, or as they like to be called these days. I've changed my name. I like to be called Altria. Please call me Altria, and which is, as you know, a tobacco company. Anyways, they had a mixed forecast. They beat on
What's the
revenue,
ticker?
missed on MO. MO. Anyways, so that's why to me, until they change their ticker, they're still Philip Morris. Anyways, I think that was the company. That's why they had MO, because it was Morris. But anyways, Altria is their new fancy name to try and make you forget the fact that they sell cigarettes. But that's what they do. And they actually said they beat on revenue quite nicely, but they didn't quite beat on the bottom line. So their adjusted earnings were a little bit below, and their full year forecast was okay, but not great. So This doesn't have a lot of volume, and you wouldn't expect it to. It doesn't normally. So that rounds out the stuff that I was most focused on, Carlos. We've got some of the usual suspects out there that we haven't talked about. Things like, how about PLTR? Which has been an interesting mover this week. I think PLTR has been better than it had been in the past. I know it used to be your favorite, Carlos, and then not so much. It might be worth looking at again. You just it can be tough at the open
Yeah.
these days. The open trading is a little, but once it picks a direction, it's been actually moving more consistently than it used to. It used to be the other way around, right? Where it was like it would move really good at the open, and then it would sort of go sad in the afternoon. Now it seems to be the other way, where you got to be careful at the
Yeah.
open, but for the rest of the day, it's starting to give some good move opportunities. So that's why I like it more now, when you probably like it less. So.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday looks like it had a great. I didn't watch yesterday, but it looks like yesterday did have a great start to the day and continued sell off. But you're right, it has been really tough at the market open. Hence the reason why I have not been keeping a close eye on it. But I'll add it today. It looks good. I like the daily too. I like the way this daily's setting up here. So hopefully that can continue. Looks like they're having their sell down days are pretty aggressive. Look at this. Boom, boom,
Heck is
boom,
happening.
boom. Yeah.
Silver
So
prices are on the run here again as we speak. It's once again all-time highs and
I
pushing
know.
higher. Like it's just look at this.
Madness. Love it.
It's madness. I'm
Love it.
telling you, Carlos. I think it's time. You got to start melting down all that silver you've got.
I will. I
You
will
were
start
talking about.
cutting the cables and well, cables copper, but I'll start finding whatever silver I can find and start melting it. So
Yeah.
we'll start doing that. All right, friends. Let's stop right here. We're actually very short on time, so we're gonna go straight to our website, friends, and take a look at what's happening for today on this beautiful Thursday. Yes, beautiful Thursday. Had to think for a second there. Well, we
Yeah.
had Monday. The kids were off Monday, half a day yesterday, and then I was off Tuesday. I mean, this week has been just a mess for me schedule wise. So here it is. It is Thursday, friends. Peter's gonna let you know what is happening.
I felt that you had like a brain glitch there. So, anyways, yes, it's Thursday, and I understand my brain glitches all the time. So let's take a look at the calendar. Thursday is when we like to focus on our mentorship sessions, and this Thursday we've got well, today we got lots of opportunity for you. 11, 12, and oh, is it 7 p.m. tonight? Okay, 7 p.m. Those well, that's right, I forgot. This is the new session, and it's going on Trading Terminal. All right, let's talk about that in a second. So in the chat room over the course of the day, we've got Lenny that does his trend trading mentorship at 11, and then Jared that talks options at noon. Those are both in the webinar room for our elite members. Now on Trading Terminal, tradingterminal.com, go there, click on the webinar link, which is on the left-hand side menu near the bottom. You can find that, and there's a free live webinar that Brendan's going to be delivering on how to use trading indicators and which ones you might want to use if you're just starting out on your trading. If that's of interest to you, you should absolutely go. It's completely free. Take advantage of that webinar, again, that Brendan is going to be delivering 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So it's 3 hours after the market close. And that'll be that session. And then at 8 o'clock on our regular scheduled channel, we're back in the webinar room for our elite members. We've got the Thor's Day mentorship event, which always happens. Thor loves that session, and the people love to attend it. So always a great session. So there you go. In the Bear Bull Trading chat room, 11, 12, and 8. And then on tradingterminal.com, 7 p.m. If you want to join as part of our community, we would love to have you. All you have to do is go to bearbulltraders.com, click on, scroll down to the bottom, click on the link for whichever package makes sense to you, whether you just want to join as an intro member and kick the tires for a week, or you're ready to jump in as an elite member. Pick the one that's right for you, and you can be part of this active and very effective community to help you with your trading. Carlos, let's set some levels, and if we have time, I'll let people know what our mods are watching.
Yep, absolutely, friends. Let's start here with the first one. Meta this morning again, high flying today. And again, if you find this one to be too expensive, which it is getting there, depending on how you like to trade, how many shares you can trade. Some other ETFs are a little bit less expensive. Where's the high of the pre-market? No, that's too high. High of the pre-market is over at we're Pushing through right now, 737, 37 is the high of the pre-market at the moment. Let's see if that's going to stick. The low of the pre-market is 713 towards the bottom here. We're not all-time highs on this one. We still got some ways to go. They've been as high as, what do we have here? 790.94 is the all-time high, I believe. Yeah, 794, around that area. Depends if they did anything after hours or before hours, but they're up there. And then we also have 766. So let's see how this moves. I think those are two stretches because we are already up 10% on a $700 stock. That is a lot at the moment. So let's see how much juice they got left here. 754 is another great level in case we do push higher. There's plenty on there. Towards the bottom, we do have the highs and lows for the last two trading days, and then we also have 705, a good area there. And I also missed this one right in the middle of the high and the low of the pre-market. We do have 724, another great level as well on Meta. So let's see what Meta does here. Trading very nice this morning. Volume is incredible on my list for today. Another one that's looking good is Tesla. So Tesla, again, daily's just been stuck. It's really been just back and forth here, not really doing any breakouts. And this could be the reason why my breakout trades have not worked out so well on Tesla, right? It's really just stuck in a range for the most part. 445 or 10 is the high of the pre-market. The low we're going to mark down at 436.43. And then once you do that, you're surrounded by the highs and lows of the last two trading days towards the bottom. Nothing to add there. There's only one level that might be missing here in the daily. It's a 441. 11 between the high and the low. Outside of that range, we have 451.16, and then towards the bottom, you got plenty. Do not need to add anything more. So that's Tesla there. Great pre-market activity. You can see it there moving very nicely from the top of the range to the bottom of the range. Let's see if we can continue and hopefully break out. We need some kind of breakout to get my strategies to work a little bit better on that one. Here's one that I rarely watch, rarely on my list. It is Microsoft, but I think today is their day. If they're going to trade well, today you have a very good opportunity to do that. 456.60 is the high of the pre-market. The low is down at 445.01. Below that, you do have a level here at 438.76. And if we scroll to the left, actually, before we do that, around 450, looks like 450 might be an area. It could be also a psychological level as well. But you got a couple of days slamming into that here, closing here, bouncing off from here. So you definitely want to have that 450 area marked down as well. Towards the top, before we get to the highs and lows of the last two trading days, all the way at 480. Again, we're down 7%, which is also pretty decent for a stock like this one. 464.43 is a good spot, and I think once you do that, you're pretty much set when it comes to Microsoft. Last but not least, it's going to be PLTR. Has been traded excellent yesterday. Let's see if that can continue. Again, 160.47 is the high of the pre-market. We're creating a new pre-market low right now, as you can see here. So we'll mark it where it's at now, 158.26, but so far looking like it might want to continue to head lower. Below that, we do have the previous day close and the low from yesterday right on it. So, yeah.
What
was that?
You don't remember yesterday you mentioned you're supposed to be on PCT? I just looked at my phone and it said that I think I'm supposed to be live trading at PCT.
Oh, you are? Okay. All right. I see Andrew's ready to go here. Yeah, if you have to run, man, go for it. I'll take care of this here. And I'll get the guys ready. All right, so let me know. All right, friends, and that's it. That's what it is right here. POTR, Meta, Tesla, Microsoft, and POTR all set. And then I got my secondary list. Google, Starbucks from yesterday should be interesting. AMPX and also BNAI as my popcorn ticker.
Yeah. All right. This will be my last hurrah here for this morning then, guys. Let me let you know what our mods are watching very quickly. There's a lot of common things on here. A lot of watching of Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla. Makes sense. They all had earnings. I see NVIDIA and AMD on the list. Obviously, there's some focus on silver. And don't fall into the trap. I saw Michelle in the chat room and other people asking, hey, are you thinking of a short on silver? Just don't assume because it's at all-time highs and it keeps doing that it can't go any higher. It can always go higher. But, let the stock tell you what it's going to do. So, that's it. That's what our mods are watching. Carlos, I'm going to have to hand it to you for live trading. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Good luck. Yeah, trade well. All right, friends. Peter will be joining our Peak Capital group. If you want to learn more about that, head over to peakcapitaltrading.com and you can see what's happening there. It's basically a boot camp of trading. So you head on over there and you'll be able to learn a ton when it comes to trading. And we do these special trading with them. It's a small group. They get on a Google meeting, and then you can actually interact with the moderator that's trading live. Thor does a lot of live trading there. And as you can see, Peter is going to be trading there today. All right, friends. Wow, 30 seconds to the market open. Let's get rocking and rolling. I got Tesla. Here's my 1 minute. Here's my 5 minute. And let's see. We'll be looking for a 1 minute engulfing pattern is what I look for at the bell. And then the next thing I'll be looking for is a possible 5 minute ORB. And then after that, we'll be focusing on a VWAP breakout. So that's usually the structure that we follow. And we'll see if we could find anything good today. We had a great day yesterday. Beginning of the week was rough. Let's see how it does today. Here's the bell. Meta. Let's see. Tesla's doing some stuff. So patience, guys. Wait for the setup. I know the bell gets everybody excited and you want to jump and do something. But sometimes what you got to do is nothing. And just wait. Wait for the setup. We'll find our opportunities. If you haven't done so already, guys, on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. It does help us out a ton. So definitely help us there to get us to our goal of 400. 450 is our goal on the YouTube like. So thank you so much, friends. We're sitting right now. What is that? My thing says 2. That's got to be wrong. I hope it's wrong. I'm going to refresh. All right, Microsoft. Going nowhere right now. Going nowhere fast. Wow, only 201 likes. Oh, we're doing bad. That's bad. We got to rethink our assistance on YouTube. Tesla. What's happening, Tesla? Google. Yeah, see, that's why I have Google on my secondary. Volume is just not there. I know they're hitting all-time highs here, and that's great and all, but they just don't get the volume that I would like to see. So not going to focus on those guys right now. POTR is getting better volume as well, so this is good. Looking for that 1 minute ORB. AMD's on the go. Yes, AMD's doing some stuff. Let me add AMD to my list as well. They look very nice this morning, so I'll put them on here. POTR dropping. And POTR is trading much better lately. 1 PLTR short, I'm assuming, Rhinos. You mean PLTR short? FMT trading on X. Good morning to you, my friend. Good morning. And we're just waiting here to see POTR. Maybe a pullback for a good 5 minute RB would be awesome. It did something similar to that yesterday where it sold off, gave you a nice pullback. Oh, no, you actually mean PL. All right. Give us a nice pullback, and then he came back. Tesla. It's a nice engulfing, 1 minute engulfing here, but this sell-off wick just looks messy. Just looks messy. Let's see how we are doing here, friends. Meta, this sell-off. Tesla, nothing yet. T-Man. See, the bell doesn't mean much to me. So I get it. Some people, for the bell, it's like, it means a lot to them. I don't put a lot of weight on the bell. I used to. When the bell rang, it was just like, oh my God, I got to focus. No. I'm not going to do none of that anymore. See, but after so many years of trading, you just learn what works for you. Yeah, but the bell used to freak me out, man. It's like I had to get something. I had to be ready. Anymore. Sometimes, if I was not live with you guys, I'll be getting up to get a coffee right now and come back around this time. Right? So, but it used to put a lot of pressure on me. And I lost a lot of money doing that. So I don't do it anymore. But everybody's different. You got to do what works for you. Here's Microsoft, friends, dropping, going into that 4th minute. So now I'm looking for a possible 5-minute ORB. I didn't see any good 1-minute engulfing pattern besides Tesla. This was nice, but look, it failed. It failed big time with this wick. So look at that nice, beautiful drop there. And now it's just completely messed up the 5-minute ORB because it's just way too extended. So not going to be jumping on that. Microsoft could be interesting here. We get a pullback, could be a nice 5-minute ORB breakdown if the weakness continues. I do like the 5-minute as well. Let's see if we get a pullback on that one. POTR, man, things are just going. Nothing is pulling back. AMD's pulling back. AMD's pulling back. That could be good. Right now, Microsoft is giving me the best option for a trade. Believe it or not, Microsoft on the pullback here. So here it is, 5-minute mark. Got a little bit of a pullback happening. I might be joining this for 5-minute ORB. I'm gonna check what the trading terminal Atlas is giving us on it, and I might be going short here. Yeah, gonna go short for the 5-minute ORB breakdown. I like the way the setup looks right now. Let's see if the weakness can break the low of the day here at 429 and head lower. Stop loss of 433.75. So I'm giving this about $2 stop. Be careful with the number of shares you take. You do not need to take a boatload because this thing can give you a very big move. So you do not need to take a lot of shares on it, and give yourself enough room to survive the pullback, right? So if I look at Microsoft on Atlas, pulling it up right now. Oh, what's going on? Something's wrong with my thing here. Let's see here. I just had it. It's not doing something now. All right. It might be, Dan. It might be. I'm not sure. I'm trying it, but it's not loading right now, so I'll have to come back to that. All right. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, it does look bearish. 430. There's a bunch of orders at 430, so let's hope that this thing can sell off. That's right over here at 430. Let's hope that this thing can sell off and hopefully break the low of the day. But it does look very bearish on the Atlas, but not short term. Like short term, like if you look at the prices short term, there's nothing happening. Here it is. Peter's frozen. We'll take Peter out of here in a second. There it is. But see, short term, there's nothing here and not much here. But this looks much more bearish than bullish. But again, there's not a lot here, so you might have a little swing back and forth until you actually start heading lower. But it does look bearish on the market Atlas. So let's see if we could break lower. Getting a pullback here now on Microsoft. How did Tesla do? Tesla was a great short. But again, I did not have a strategy for that, so there's no way I would have taken that trade. Meta, what did it do? Meta did drop. This would have been another good 5-minute ORB, and you got this beautiful drop right on it as well, so that's nice. So let's see. All right, Microsoft might be stopping me out 433.75 ish. We don't want to go in above that, so let's see if we're able to hold here. 433.75. Yeah, it's gonna stop us out. This could either be a good pullback to get in short, or it's going to stop us out. Let's see what Microsoft wants to do here. So we're ready. This would have been a much better entry, guys. If I would have waited a little more, this would have been a much better entry. The only thing is, if you do that, you run the risk of it leaving you, of it just continuing, to break down lower. But this would have been a much better entry for a short here. Let's see what it wants to do here. Atlas is still bearish, but not by much. 443.75. We'll bail out of the trade. We're like right on it. Let's see what it does. All right. Well, Microsoft is deciding what to do. Let's take a look at what else we have going on here. Need a drop and retest. POTR was a great short, but no opportunity to join that there. AMD. What did AMD do? Look at that. AMD, nice drop. Trying to bounce back now. POTR. And POTR might actually go lower. All right, Microsoft is stopping us out. Yeah, so we'll jump out of Microsoft because it's not. Is it? Yeah, it's not. It's not pulling lower. Just feel like it's gonna drop, man. The minute I get out, I feel like this thing is gonna go lower. We got more bids coming up at 433, and there's just nothing to the upside. So yeah, we gotta get out. Let's get out. I don't want to stay in here too long and give it too much room either. But we'll come back to if it develops any other way. Tesla, that is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful on Tesla, guys. What a nice drop. Meta here, it's doing some stuff. POTR just kind of went sideways for a little bit there. AMD, nothing to see there. Let me look at my Starbucks. Starbucks was great yesterday, but it's back to its regular no volume type trading. So it might be the fun might be over. We had a great trade on this one, but I think the fun is done. AMPX, no. BNAI, my popcorn ticker, just garbage. This is so bad. And this is moving like $2-3. Like this is, yeah, no good. All right, AMD, Microsoft. Microsoft still seems, yes, it might be oversold. I think it is oversold, but it looks so weak, man. On the market, so I might take another shot at this. I might take another shot at this. Let me see what the bigger picture looks like. Yeah, let's go short again here on Microsoft. Oh, taking too long. There it is. All right. Oh man, that was not good execution, guys. That took way too long to get into that trade. I missed almost like 80 cents. That is not that was not good. All right, so let's see, back short. We'll give it 435. We got better entry, not by much. Let's see if we can get down to 431. We got a bunch of orders down there on Market Atlas, so I do see some weakness there, but it's just so light when it comes to the actual orders here. It's just so light as far as the closest to the price action. But let's see if we can get the 5-minute range breakdown on this one here. POTR bouncing, just cycling through my stocks and see what else we have here, friends. Microsoft, poor execution on my part. Tesla and Meta. Meta continues to drop. Per my rule, I walk away for 5 minutes. When do you walk away, Chris? Why do you walk away every 5 minutes for? All right, make sure you guys are calling out CRWV. Not great. I don't see anything I could have traded here on this one on CRWV. But yeah, even on the 5-minute, I don't see anything that I could have taken advantage on it at the moment. But again, I don't know when you called it out. I'm just looking at it now. So you could have called it out when it was doing something else. AMD, nothing. POTR and Tesla were the trades today, man. Short. POTR and Tesla were the trades. Wow. So clean. I'm here messing around with this Microsoft that's actually going the other way. 435 is my stop here. Looks like it does not want to sell off. And now the Atlas, as we're approaching VWAP, the Atlas looks very bullish. So this is not looking good for me at all right now. This actually looks like it wants to go the other way. I'm not going to flip my position because I don't do that. We'll take it above the VWAP. If I am going to take it long, let me stop this here. but it looks very bullish on Atlas. 435 is my stop. I don't think we're surviving that though. I do not think we're surviving that based on how Atlas is looking right now. But we got more volume. We got more volume both up to the bottom as well. We didn't have all this before. It was very, very quiet. And I think that's because we're reaching that VWAP point where you're going to have more action around that area. Let's see what it does here on the near the VWAP. 435 is my stop. Done for the day on PLTR. Oh man, don't tell me that. That was the trade today. PLTR was the one. That is so clean. But again, I don't see. If you look at the 5 minute, like if I would have taken this on a 5 minute, I would have been chasing it. Like this is really far out. So, and I would have had, yeah, a horrible risk to reward. But if you had a 1 minute ORB on this one in PLTR, that surely got it done. That's nice trade. Nice trade. Tesla, on the other hand, here, this was a great short on the 1 minute as well. You can see here losing this level. You also have Microsoft seems to be doing something that's good. You had this nice sell-off wick. This could have been a nice 5 minute ORB breakdown. I'm sorry, 1 minute ORB. That's your range right there. We tried it both ways, failed. On the way back down here, you could have taken an opportunity here. All right, looks like Microsoft is heading lower. Now Atlas looks bearish. Let's see if that can continue. But it's just back and forth. 432 would be awesome if we could get that on Microsoft. MU, what do you got in MU? MU, yep, got a nice breakout here. 5 minute ORB breakout. You also have high of day breakouts. A lot happening on MU right now. And MU moving $2 at a time. That's just insane. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. So careful on the share size you take here. I mean, this is a $2 pullback, but if you look at the bigger picture, that should not be a big deal based on the way it's trading, right? So just be careful on the share size. Again, you could trade stock. I give $2 stops on stocks like Microsoft, Tesla. I don't trade Meta as much all the time. It's fine. Just take less shares, right? You don't do the stuff that people do where they like, oh, so I only want to take a 75-cent stop because I want to take X amount of shares. You know, that's not going to work. On these stocks, you are going to get stopped out very, very quickly. So when you hear somebody say, hey, I'm taking a $2 stop on it, it's because the stock can move $4, right? So just keep that in mind and don't go crazy with the share sizing. Because stops need to be at a point where you can survive the pullback. I think we might survive this pullback. Let's see. We're back at a break even. And the Atlas is so back and forth on Microsoft. And this is probably why I don't like trading Microsoft, because it's so difficult to read the price action. It is very difficult. If you guys just saw it earlier, the Atlas has completely changed, right? We had all this downside and upside. Now the upside disappeared. The downside got worse than what it was earlier. It's very difficult to read this price action. That is for sure. So let's see. Our stop 435. We'd love to get a test of that 429 area, which is our low of the day, 429.24. Let's see if we can get there. CVX earnings tomorrow. I have call options. Ustangs. I don't know I don't know how to pronounce that, but thank you, my friend, for the donation. Appreciate you. Wanted to let us know that CVX earnings tomorrow, and you have call options. Good stuff, man. I don't trade options, but I assume that you are in the money and doing very well. so awesome. All right, let's see. Microsoft, do something for us, my friend. Tesla bouncing here. The next strategy I'll be looking for, guys, is it will be a VWAP breakout. So any VWAP breakouts will be next on deck, and Tesla's a great one. And actually, Tesla's is setting up pretty nice, because look at this previous day close, the VWAP, all these levels are on here. If we're able to break through that and then use that as support, that could be a really nice situation for us. So we'll be on the lookout for that. On Tesla, any other ones like that? I don't like Meta as much. Meta's volume is just so low. So the price doesn't look great. All right, Microsoft doing some stuff here. AMD, same thing, bouncing here, might be getting to the VWAP, and then hopefully test of the high of the day, 260.50, and the stop here will have to be, well, let's see how it breaks out. Let's see how it breaks out before we put the stop on it. Let's see what it does. In your experience, why Tesla went down? Oh man, I have no idea. That's why I became a technical trader, because I don't have to do the homework. I'm lazy. I don't have to do the homework of like what happened, what took place, and do the math and do the calculations. I'm just trading these little patterns and price actions with the tools that we have. Atlas, level 2 volume keeps it nice and simple. But as far as it going down, who knows, man? So many people involved. Like somebody says the wrong thing, or people feel a certain way, or just the market feels that, hey, you don't deserve to be at 440 today. Let's bring you down to 427. Could be as simple as that. It's hard to tell. I don't think people really, unless it's like something very clear. Like clearly today you had earnings, right? So you had earnings, and obviously you gapped up, and then now people realize that they didn't really like the news. I don't know, man. It's just so many variables. You just can't keep up with this stuff, really. This is why for me, the news, we wanted to create volatility, create momentum, and then we just react and trade the price action, right? Like we're doing now. With Microsoft had earnings last night, so we're just trading the volume. We normally don't look at this ticker. And hopefully we can get the drop here. So even with the volume in the news, I'm still looking for my 5-minute ORB breakout, right? So I'm still looking for an actual pattern. I'm not even considering whether the news was positive or not. It doesn't matter, right? I do like to know what the news is, because some news headlines are horrible. If I hear you're doing a buyout, and that's not going to trade well. If I hear you're doing offering more shares, typically that trades horrible. So the news type matters more than the actual news, right? Some news just does not trade very well at all. So I look out for stuff like that. All right, we're struggling here at this 432 area. Let's mark this 432 area. Really struggling to break down here, but we got some good bids at 430. We really do. So there's no reason why we shouldn't go pick those guys up. 430. That's 112,000 shares down there. It's a lot of shares. Let's go pick that up, Microsoft. Let's go get that. 113,000. By the way, for those that don't know, this is actual shares. So when you see this number here, these are actual shares down there, which is probably not a lot for Microsoft. That's like a drop in the bucket, right? The stock is so massive. Got another 20,000 down here as well. All right, see, we're starting to dig into that. Oh, see that? We just ran right through that. Guys, if you're not using Market Atlas, this is just so beautiful. You see how we're just digging into these numbers? Like, this is awesome. Then you see we just blew right by that. Next one, 429. We should take a partial, actually. Let me see. Atlas. I'm looking at Atlas, see if we break through that 429. I think we are. So we're back. Oh, that is so nice. You guys saw that on Market Atlas? That is so beautiful. So we're just breaking through these levels. Very, very nice. We came up and pick up our buddies down here. So I took a partial right in this area. And let's see, 428 is next. 428, 30 to 428. Let's see if we can start digging in here and taking a partial there as well. So let's see. Looks good, looks good. Atlas comes through, friends. I was skeptical about this working out, but Atlas got really nice here, and hopefully we can get the 428. Let's see here. So one partial in already. 428 is up next. If we could break through that. Oh, you want updates on Trading Terminal? You know, my account is actually ready for Trading Terminal. I have not used the updates yet. So there are some new updates there on funded account. No, fundamental, not that. There are some new updates with the way you process the orders. I have not used those yet. So give me some time to use that. Okay, here it is. So I got my fresh funded account. There it is. You start with 12,500, 50,000 of buying power. And they got these new hotkeys you can set up now. I haven't played with this yet. Am I showing you? Yeah, I haven't played with this yet. Oh, that's gonna be nice. See, you guys asked for this. You guys asked for hotkeys on funded account. There it is. So I haven't set mine up yet. This is just the way it is here. Which is pretty simple. Shift R and all this stuff, so you could change it to whatever keypad you want. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna probably do it the same way I do my Andrew set these hotkeys up. I could tell this was Andrew. You know why? Because this is the hotkeys that I use on my actual. I'm looking at them. Wait a minute. These are my actual hotkeys that I use on Dash Trader Pro. Shift Q, right, to buy. Shift W to buy less. Shift A to sell. Yeah. Yeah, these are the same hotkeys that Andrew uses on his keyboard because I got the same thing. Nice. Very nice. So yeah, take advantage of that, guys. Funded account. We'll be giving one away later today too on the funded account. So be on the lookout for that. All right, so here it is. Microsoft. We're struggling to get lower. I might take another partial. We've got a really nice move here on Microsoft. So I might take another partial. I don't want to take a lot of shares up. Let's actually go back and see what. We still got tons of orders at 428. We still got tons of stuff at 428, and nothing to the upside. So I'm hesitant to jump the gun here. So let's see, there's nothing up here. We should technically come back and try this 428 again. But let's see. Let's see what it does. Chris, yeah, it's getting too long, man. I'm thinking about. I gotta trim it down a little bit. It's getting long. So let's see, friends. I'm hesitating between taking a partial here around 430 or waiting to see if we're gonna go back down and take another shot at that 428. We got some orders now, 429. So there it is. We're dropping. Let's see what it does here. Yes, so I am shorting. I am shorting Microsoft right now. All right, so we are short on Microsoft, and I'm looking at Atlas to see when is the next possible area. We're short from 432.05 is our average right now. Well, our entry we didn't add to it, so that's just our entry, 432.05, and we got a partial down on 428. So let's see, the charts are matching up what Atlas is doing. Like if you look at the charts, right, we're having a lot of pressure going higher, and to me it seems like we might go back and retest the low here. So let's see if that's the case. 429, as you can see there, is also an area where we have a couple of orders, but 429 is where it's at. If we can get back down there, that would be awesome. So let's see. If we hesitate to go lower here, what I'm going to do is just giving you my thought process as we're going through this. I'm going to take another partial if we hesitate to get below this, because I don't want to bring it up. We're up almost $2 on this thing, right? I don't want to bring back shares above that too much. So if we hesitate to actually get below 429, okay, there it is, start to dig in a little bit, then I'll take another partial, just take some shares off. I won't take everything off, but I will take some just to put less shares, take some shares off the table here just in case. All right, what else is moving, guys? What are you guys doing today? What are you guys trading? What are you guys doing? Why did I show ORB? Okay, I'll show you in a second. We might be getting ready here to take another partial. Let's see, break 428. All right, let's look at I like looking at Atlas when it's doing this. So here it is, 428. Got the big orders there, 43,000 shares. Let's see if we can start digging into that. Yes, come on. Come on, dig in. You can do it. All right, so it took some off, but not quite. See, got a nice little stab at that. Let's see if we can actually punch through. We should be able to. There's nothing up there. Let's see if we can take another. And I got my hands on the hotkey just to take some off. Let's see here. We still got 47,000. Looks like we're going down to take another shot at it. Right here it is. We're dropping. New low of the day at 428.01. Oh, come on. It's like we're punching through, but are not getting completely through it yet. Still 47,000 shares there. Let's see if we could buy through that. We should get a nice little drop here if we do. Okay, now we're doing it. Oh, look at the bids. Look at the bids. You got to do it now. There it is. Partial, friends. There it is. 427.27. Beautiful thing. Gotta love this stuff. This is fun. This is fun here. When the stocks trade like this, so clean. I can't believe I said that. Microsoft is fun. Microsoft is never fun, friends. Where's Melanie? Where is Melanie in the house today? Because I know this is like her it's like her friend here. Her favorite stock. We haven't seen this low on Microsoft in a while. Let's take a look. Yes, it's been some time. So Microsoft has not been here since. Oh yeah, you're right, man. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. We actually gapped up here. Let's get this level down. So this is over here, 425.08. 425.08. We're actually getting close to this level here. Let's see what it does here. 425.08, and that's exactly where, of course, we have 62,000 orders now. So a lot more orders down at 420. Excuse me, 425. 425.08. 62,000 orders there now. Shares. Let's see what it does when it gets down there. Should be nice. Should be nice. All right, let's see if we. I actually, you know what? I should get ready to take another partial because we are in a very good situation here, and we don't wanna bring a lot of shares back up. I know it can come back up, and it could do the same thing it did here. Drop, come back up. You can add, and then expect it to go lower. I'm not really good at that. I see it and I want to take it, right? And that's it. I just trade better and more consistent that way. Other people don't. Other people can wait till it goes back up and add. They're better at that. But let's see, 425. Atlas is telling me to wait, so we're gonna wait. Let's see if we could dig into that. 67,000 orders there. And all right, here it is. I'm just looking at Atlas at the same time. 60. Wow, that is beautiful, friends. We're gonna drop. Yeah, we're gonna drop. All the orders almost pulled there. I'm gonna take a partial right there. Orders are just massively being attacked. It might hold here. Look at that. 71,000 orders. We're battling. It's a big battle going on right now here. Let's see. Let's see what it does. 425, 72,000 shares. Keeps climbing. And there's the push. Oh, wow. That is beautiful. 424. All right. That is beautiful. Now we readjust. Look at the massive orders going through there. Readjust a little bit here. And still looking very, very bearish, friends. This is insane. This is insane. This is probably my best trade on Microsoft all time. I think so because, again, we barely trade, so it's not a hard thing to actually do. That is not a hard thing to do. All right, so we took a partial. I'm gonna take another one, friends. It's just we're at a good spot. If this thing decides to bounce, I don't want to take shares above this here, too much above this. Where did I enter? Right over here. So if we go back, so this is the first trade we took. Got stopped out. Second trade we took. Horrible field. Not field. No, horrible execution on my part. I took too long to get in. I could have got an entry up here. And again, it doesn't make a difference now because the trade worked out, but it makes a difference whether. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing you. Not showing the charts. Here it is. Got to hit the button. So here's my first trade. We got in. We got stopped out on the first one. Got in on the second one here for a 5-minute ORB. I'll show you the 5-minute here. So let me show you the initial plan. So we got in based on the 5-minute ORB. So here's our 5-minute range that was created. Typically, when the range is created, I like to wait for the pullback and then get in on the sell-off. So we did that here on the 1 minute, right? So you got a little bit of a pullback. I think I could have waited a little bit more and then got more confirmation and then jumped in. Maybe even over here as well. Would have been a much better entry. Would have avoided this stop. But the reason for that is because, you never know if things are just going to continue to go down. So I wanted to get in on the trade. But that was the process, the strategy. It's on this 5-minute ORB, got in short, got stopped out, comes back down, a lot of selling pressure. Also, Atlas was a big part of this because I kept looking at Atlas and it kept showing us that we didn't have much nearby on the prices, but towards the bottom, it looked a lot more bearish, right? So I definitely like that there. So I executed the short here. Could have got it a little bit higher. Unfortunately, it just took too long to hit the button. And it doesn't matter now when the trade works out. What matters is the important part is the stop, right? So if I would have had an entry here, my stop could have been a little bit higher. And that just gives you a little more wiggle room to survive the pullbacks, right? Because we almost got stopped out here. What was our stop? 435. Yeah, 435 was our stop. We came very close to stopping out and probably not rejoining this trade because after 2 stops, I started getting a little bit concerned that I might be not in sync with the market. So that's the important part. It's not how much you can make. Is if I don't got a good entry, then I cannot survive the pullback, right? So this worked out pretty nice. We survived the pullback here barely, and as you can see here, we got a nice drop off these levels. We lost 432. 21 right down to 421, and this let's see what it does here because this is also a big area on the daily. You guys called out that Microsoft had not been here in quite some time, and if we pull back to April or May, what is this? Oh, May 1st of last year. Look at this beautiful gap up. So we're hanging out right here right now. Oh, I'm not showing you that. Sorry. We're hanging out right here, May 1st last year. This is the level that we're kind of bouncing off right now. Then we got this big gap down. Or big open space that we can dive into. So let's see what it does. Or it could find support here. It could say, hey, this is a good price, and it could start bouncing from here. So let's see what it does. But either way, we got a couple of partials in already. So we got some room. Let's see if it wants to go lower. If not, we'll just bail on it. I'm not gonna let this go up like above 428. It doesn't make no sense for me to still be in it. Right? Peter will say, oh, but your entry's at 432. Give me a little room. That's what Peter would say if I tell him I was going to get everything out at 428. All right, friends. What else? What do you guys got going on? Let's take a look at what's happening across the board here. Meta. Yeah, Meta's not garbage, but it's just not my stock, man. Look at this. It's just difficult to trade. This is why it never makes our list. It really doesn't. I mean, I think it's just a very difficult stock to trade. Tesla never got to the VWAP here. We're looking at it here. We haven't really looked at it since. We're waiting hopefully for a VWAP breakout. Maybe now things can turn over and start getting up towards that VWAP breakout. That's still a strategy that can work pretty well. Microsoft is probably going to head higher here. You know what? I could take. Should we get out completely or just take some off? Let's see what it does here. It's funny. I keep looking at Atlas. Every time I look over, it just looks bearish. Like this is just bear mode right now, right? Everything is towards the bottom. So it makes me be a little more patient when I look at this chart here. Just kind of let's wait a little bit. Let's not jump, you know. So let's see. We do have some orders at 430. We have dropped quite a bit. We're down 11% on this one. We're definitely oversold. So, you know, although this is showing bearish, this thing can bounce to the VWAP before it makes its next leg, right? So, 428. Oh, that changed. We got some orders now. I'm very glad I took this other partial here, because usually I like to take partials as it's dropping, right? Partial, partial, partial. And this one would have been a partial I would have got probably a little bit lower. I'm so glad we took this here because, again, just look at the bounce we're getting. We might not come back to 425. We might not come back. All right, let's see what else. So POTR. Oh, POTR is another one that was beautiful, guys. This was nice. Look at this go, breaking a new low. Wow, that is nice. So if you took POTR today, you definitely got an awesome drop here, and looks like it wants to go lower on POTR. So did anybody trade POTR today? Anyone do that one? That looks sweet. POTR's got to come back to my list. POTR's been trading a lot better lately, so I got to start adding that to our profile here going forward. I took it off for a while because many times at the market open, it just has not been trading well. But we're gonna have to start paying more attention to that one. All right, Microsoft just bouncing between 429 and 428. AMD, also another great show. Look at the rejection of the VWAP. That is nice. That is very, very clean. Back to the previous day close, and then here the breakdown from the previous day close going red. So that's awesome there on AMD. Wow, what a great day, guys. A lot of good moves. I wish I would have been done with Microsoft quicker to join some of these other plays. But there was a lot of good moves here. All right, let's see if we have another leg, not another leg down, another retest of 425 on Microsoft. Let's see if that's gonna take place. If not, we'll bail on it. We'll get all out of it. Oracle. Oh yeah. Another one too. Down 6%. This thing was 170. It's down $8 from the open. Just about. Quietly, but for sure dropping nicely here. Look at the daily, man. They're not having fun today. Look at that drop there. That is not cool. Starbucks actually did break out here above the VWAP and the previous day close. Which is the one that had that? Was it Tesla? Yeah, Tesla. Tesla, the VWAP and the previous day close were right on here. That would have been a really good VWAP breakout. If we would have got there, I was looking forward to that one, but we never got there. That would have been a nice breakout. Because what happens is you're going to have other people that are trading other strategies that are looking for that VWAP breakout plus that previous day close that would have taken that long. So that just helps your situation, right? When you have other traders also joining your party, that can help a lot. What else? Microsoft. Yeah, I think Microsoft might be done. Microsoft might be done. BNAI is the crazy one for today. Well, the last couple of days, not doing a whole lot this morning. Just quiet. And this Starbucks. Starbucks is setting up a nice VWAP breakout. If this was any other ticker, I probably would have taken this. So you got the breakout candle happening here. A couple of candles. Here's the pullback you're getting now. Any other I would take, but you build on Microsoft after that short run? Okay. No. I mean, it depends. Depends what your entry was, right? So yeah, I can't just say no, but it depends what your entry was. Looks like we might be retesting though. So let's see. I'll be honest, I'm putting a lot of weight on Atlas right now. I am putting a lot of weight on Atlas. I would have been out with you, Ben, on this one. But Atlas is telling me stick around for a little bit longer. What's your rush? Don't you want to make a little more? So let's see if Atlas is right. Got 425 here, still heavy, 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 heavy. Tesla, let's take a look. What Tesla is up to. Oop. Oh, it looks like TSLQ is one, but that's not what I meant. I meant Tesla. All right, Tesla's loading up. Yeah, 420, of course. You know, everybody loves 420 on Tesla. Go figure. 87,000 orders hanging out there. So yeah, go figure that. Yeah, I see Tesla as bearish as well. I see it bearish here. Off of Atlas, that's how I'm looking at it right now. Long NVDA, small size, good. Let's see. I need to make some money on my funded account, guys. We gotta beat Peter. We gotta beat him. So let's see. What should we trade on the funded account? Tesla long. I could see that possible double bottom coming up here. Meta, garbage, Microsoft. I think this is a good place for a partial, guys. I think I am going to take a partial here. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go back to Microsoft on Atlas. Yeah, 425 is still there. 37,000 orders. Tons more down to 424. Nothing towards the top side. Would love to see how this develops here. I don't want to go back up to 429 when I'm at 427, 426. I don't want to go back up there. Partial and add. Yeah, that's something you can actually do. Partial and add, that's something you can actually do. How can you tell Xbox wouldn't be a good VWAP breakout? The pattern itself looked great on Starbucks, and I'll pull it up in a second here. Let me just see what Microsoft is gonna do. Did it fail? I don't have it up. Did it fail on Starbucks? Part of it was the volume, I think, right? But the actual technicals look good. Like that's a solid trade, but it's Starbucks, right? We know Starbucks. It failed super badly. Yeah, it's Starbucks. I mean, it's just they trade well after earnings. They got the volume. When you don't have good volume, breakouts are very, very difficult. Or when the market is choppy. When the market is choppy as well, breakouts are very difficult. This is why people have a hard time with this strategy. The 5-minute RB is a very simple, so clear, clean cut strategy. So I love it. Right? Because the rules are very simple. You know exactly what you're looking for. Yeah, I'm gonna take some off. That's what we'll do. We'll take some off on Microsoft because I still think that we can go lower. So I'm just gonna take some off here. So in case we go above 429, I can now hold to my break even point. Not a problem. But I didn't want to take that many shares above there. So let's see. Let's look at Starbucks now that I got that out of the way, and watch Microsoft now drop to like 420. But let's look at Starbucks. Oh yeah, it felt really bad. Now you don't expect this to happen. This is clearly looks like some kind of news. Check the news, guys. Any news? This looks some kind of news related drop, right? They don't trade like this, right? So something came out. Do we have any? Do we have any news that was scheduled? Let's take a look. Peter's face is not there, but just it is there. 10 o'clock, we had factory orders. Yeah, that stuff doesn't do a whole lot. That doesn't really move stuff. But yeah, look at the increase in volume. Clearly, this is a little bit much different than what we that you get. But the reason I didn't take the trade was because the volume is so light, right? So they're like now the pattern itself, previous day close, VWAP, excellent. But it's Starbucks. Now Tesla. If Tesla would have got up here, we're definitely taking that long. It's Tesla. You're gonna get the volume, you're gonna get the push, you might get the continuation, but we never got there. But Starbucks, this might be the last time we talk about Starbucks into another news breaks out. They mess up some kind of coffee beans or something, or earnings. Like we probably won't see them again as far as trading goes. All right, Uncle D trades. People are on NVIDIA falling off a cliff. It did, right? It did fall off here. Starting to bounce back a little bit, but it did fall off. And the next trade now between now and probably 11 will be VWAP breakout. So let's see if we get any VWAP breakouts as things start to settle down. Let's see if any VWAP breakouts are in place for us to take. Or other traders, like if you trade reversals, this would be a good time to look for reversals. You're getting into that time zone where things start to reverse a little bit. So like a PLTR, like maybe even a Microsoft, right? I'm in this trade, but let's be honest, it might be getting ready for a possible reversal here. Back to VWAP. So let's see. AMD was great from R3 to S4. Nice. I bought at the bottom for my portfolio, long-term holding Microsoft. Oh yeah, if long-terms, these companies, man, they're gonna be around for a very, very long time. Long-term, you can't go wrong with some of these. That's for sure. AMD, PLTR. Microsoft might be over. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the rest off of Microsoft. Yes. We're starting to get some orders at 4:30 now. So going the other way on Microsoft. And they're down, 11%. And Mehdi's buying them for his long-term portfolio. So he probably just bought a bunch of 50,000 shares here going against me. So I might need to bail on Microsoft. Might need to jump out. All right. It might seem very active, but it's only one trade, But yeah, I am. There's some days where you're just able to find opportunities, and some days where it just doesn't work. Right? Today was a day where it worked perfectly. We got stopped out the first one. The second one worked beautifully, and and it's still early, still 10:23, so we can still look to see what else is out there. But today's a great day. There's so many things that you could have taken, so many different opportunities. So these days are great, man. They're really, really awesome. All right, I'm gonna take the rest off on Microsoft. We had a great trade, and aside from a great trade, I think we had good decision making on this one, because if you notice, we decided to to take a partial here. We decided to wait here. We decided to wait here as well, right? So we took a partial there when we dropped. This partial was good. Even this partial was good as well, just in case it went up. And it did. It went up, and we made ourselves a little more just by taking this partial and this extra one here. So I think the decision making today was on point. And also getting back into the trade, right? Because it's so easy to get a stop down and like, oh man, you're forcing it. No, well, the strategy is still showing here. Atlas is still showing bearish, so the decision making I think was pretty spot on today. Because sometimes you could have some really good opportunities, and if the decision process is not there, you can really mess things up or not take full advantage of something. What's going on with Tesla? I feel like it's gonna drop. Tesla wants 420. I think Tesla just to do history, just to say, hey, we got a 420, and then it'll bounce back up. Tesla is that could be that petty at times, I think. Let's see. And you do have 88,000 shares at 420 on Tesla. I hope it gets there, and I hope when it gets there, I hope that it has a huge rebound slingshot back up to the VWAP. How cool would that be? SNDK. I like looking at the daily on this stock. How are we doing? Wow. My goodness. 544 all-time highs on this bad boy. Could be higher in the pre-market. Yeah, it looks like the pre-market was much higher. Actually, after hours last night was much higher, 548. The stock that doesn't day trade well, but their daily is just insane. At least for me. Have you guys been trading this? Have you guys traded SNDK at all? As far as day trades? I guess Tesla will drop below 420. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what it does. People are definitely getting shocked today. It gapped up and went red and is continuing. So people are just like, what the heck is going on? They're probably getting caught off guard. But this could set up a... I don't think it'll stay down there for long. I think this can set up a nice reversal eventually. Here's Atlas on Tesla, guys. From TradeTerminal.com, 422, 15,000 shares traded. 15,000 shares there. And you got some more towards the bottom at 421. Then you got the big one at 490, which continues to grow. Let's see if we're going to break down below the low of the day here. Low of the day set at 421.81, which is right over here. We got a couple of orders. Got a couple of orders there at the low of the day. See what it does. Why did I enter Microsoft? For the 5-minute ORB. The 5-minute ORB breakdown. That was my strategy on it. So basically technicals. The technicals of the 5-minute ORB. And you could have waited too. Like if you would have waited for a pullback. Again, I kind of explained a little bit already. The pros and cons. Right, if you wait for a pullback, if I would wait a little bit more, you could have had a great entry, maybe only one trade, had a better entry, and then take advantage of all of this. Your first target is the low of the day. But sometimes when you wait for that pullback, it might just not give it to you, and it might just continue like it did on POTR. No pullback, right? And it just continues. So your next opportunity is to get in here if it happens, and then you can take advantage. But again, clearly here's where you want to be at. So it's pros and cons. Same thing with the VWAP breakout. Like if you guys see Andrew trade a lot, which by the way, you can see Andrew trading in the chat room. He's trading there right now with Brian. So head over to bearbetraders.com and you can see how those guys are trading live in the chat every day. Like if you look at Andrew's breakouts, let's see if I find a good 5-minute or VWAP breakout. There's not one good VWAP breakout today, guys. Not on the stuff I'm watching. You guys have any? I don't see one. If you guys have one, give me the ticker so I could finish my explanation here on the different ways to do things. But I don't see one. Intel, INTC. Well, actually, you know what? I don't like the stock, but here, yes. Like, see the breakout here? Breakout, pullback, and then the continuation. So my entry will be here, right? After we retest the VWAP, we have the breakout candles, could be 1, 2, or 3. We have the pullback, could be 1, 2, or 3 candles, or even more. And then this is your breakout candle, is the one that covers, engulfs basically all of this. That's your confirmation point. So on the VWAP breakout, Andrew gets in here. He gets in right on the breakout. You see him happen all the time. Usually that provides him the best entry possible, right? And when things go here, he's already parceling. I'm looking forward to pull back and do this. He's already parceling here and making his day, right? For me, I wait for the breakout here and then I get in, right? Now, the pros and cons of that. The big pro from Andrew and the way he trades is that he's got the best entry possible and he's going to parcel right away. That's the pro on it. The con is that it's not a full confirmation yet, so he can pull back and he can get stopped out, right? For me, the pro for my strategy is I'm waiting for more confirmation so I can get stopped out probably less, right, than the other way would. Now, the con for me is that if it doesn't pull back, it just goes and he's going to make a boatload and I'm not going to be in the party, right? So that's the different two situations. Now, depending on how you trade, like for example, if Andrew starts doing it my way, it might not be good for the way he trades, and vice versa. If I start doing it his way, it might not be good for the way I trade. It might mess up my numbers. So there's no right or wrong or better way of doing it. It's just what works for you and you can do consistently over and over again, right? So that's the difference, and that's kind of same thing with the 5-minute RB. I like to wait for that pullback to happen. Others just get in, right in, and just go, right? And you could do both, and they both could be amazing strategies. Just pick the one that works best for you. NVIDIA, Atlas, you was right. I apologize. I'm sorry. I should have stayed in here. You was right. You was right. Should have stayed in here. Might actually go down to 425.08. And let's see. Should have listened. Come on. Look at this. Why? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? I'm not complaining. We had a great trade and good decision making, but Atlas told us, hey, I got orders down here that I might want to go test. And it's doing just that. All right, all right. All right. Oh, look at Meta. Meta, nice little drop there, making a new low of the day. Again, difficult stock to trade. Everything's kind of falling apart. Oh, this is not helping things. SPY's not helping your long situation, guys. If you guys are long, the SPY is not really cooperating with you right now. It's making a new low. And the QQQ is about to make a new low as well. So things are just heading south at the moment. And that's probably why our Microsoft is even feeling a little bit more weak as it pulls lower here. AZI, what is that? AZI, what do we have here? Oh, no. What is this? Ben, what are you doing? I love Ben, but I'm gonna have to give this AZI a little garbage truck. But Ben is our boy. Ben is been with us for a long time. Good friend of the chat. Silver. Is this silver? No, this is auto Atasi internet something. I'm not sure what that is. What is silver up to? Oh, look at silver drop. Wow. I don't know about poor silver, man. Let's come back tomorrow. Like, let's come back tomorrow, and like, let's come back next week. Poor silver, nothing, man. This thing finds a way, or maybe this is it. The party over? Is the fun done? I don't think so. I think it'll still be at 115 by the end of next week. We thought the world was over here and here, not here so much, but this does look a little aggressive, though. I do have to say, uh, this does look a little aggressive. Let's see. Let's see what happens. And it's funny because Brian was talking about this the other day. He was saying, "Listen, it's getting to the point where it's too much, and everybody's talking about it. I'm gonna start taking some off." So he did. He did start to take some off, and makes sense. Makes sense because look at this thing now. Oh boy, not good. Not good. Not good if you just got in, right? If you just got in and your first taste is blood, it's not good. It's not a good feeling. So, I did the same as you did. I got out around the same time on Microsoft, kicking myself, but I still 1.5% green on the day. Yeah, that's awesome, man. No, yeah, we can't kick ourselves. We had a really great trade. I mean, Atlas was telling us, hey, it could go lower. Obviously, clearly the SPY is helping this, right? Let's not kid ourselves. But Atlas did have a lot of orders down here at 425. But again, we got an amazing move. Yeah. So, oh, Ben. Okay, I see what you're responding to my Ben. Make sure you're live. Make sure you're up to the most up to date on the stream. But yeah, what's the? Oh yeah. It did. I thought you were trading this one. I was like, oh man, careful. I'm a Mexican American. We don't give up. Oh no, I hear you, man. I, if you don't, um, being optimistic in the stock market is brutal. Cost me a lot of money, man. Cost me a lot of money, so be careful. Um, but yeah, there's times where you just got to put up the white flag and take the L. Uh, Trading is one of those things as you got to know how to do that, or else it will hurt you, man, big time. Big time, big time. How much did it cost me? A lot. I call it. It cost me a Honda Civic. It cost me a lot more than that because I had some other smaller trades being, not trading well. But the big one was the Honda Civic, man. How much is a Honda Civic now? By the way, that might not be relevant anymore. How much is a Honda Civic? 35K. How much do you think a Honda Civic costs? No, 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 no. Honda Civic cannot be that much. No way. Let's look. Can't. Well, maybe now it could be. I had this great post a while back on X. So I did a post. If you guys follow me, probably remember. Um, it was a post about put a picture of your biggest loss, and people were putting houses and like the value of not the actual number, just the value of how much you lost, and people were putting like really expensive cars. I'm just like, geez, so some big losses out there. Um, but I'm curious. Inflation, and everything going on. The Honda Civic may actually be a lot more expensive now. Oh, they are 33,000 for a Honda Civic. What? Why? Oh yeah, so 17K guys, 17K. So it's not it's that can't even get your Honda Civic anymore. It used to. Wow, they really don't have cars at 17K or 20K anymore? This Canadian dollars? What is this? All right. That's interesting. Well, I kid you not. They used to be way cheaper than this. I'll tell you right now. If it was like 17, 18, one of these things over here. 24. That is that's pretty. What's the lowest one they got? 24? Yeah. Wow. But when I had my biggest loss, it was $17,000. And there was a Honda Civic that was $17,000. That's how I was able to find that new. Not anymore. Not anymore. Oh man, look at Google. Google's losing a lot of ground. Everything is losing ground. Microsoft is still holding that 425. No, it's not that bad. I mean, it was bad for me at that time. You know, it was bad. It was on one trade. It was like, broke all the rules possible. So yeah, it was my biggest loss ever. Uh, so yeah, no, it was bad actually. It was bad. Oh, Microsoft is going more. If you still, and now is the time to be in any short, guys. Any short now is paying you really nice if you're in any short because everything is just going south at the moment. So Starbucks too. Starbucks did some weird stuff earlier and it's just kind of going sideways now. Google, really big drop today. Look at the daily on Google. It's just nice drop there. Almost everything's getting a beautiful drop here. PLTR, Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft is really oversold, guys. It's a big gap down. You're down almost 12% now with this drop here. This might be in play for the next couple of days. I think this will be fun to keep on deck, even going into like tomorrow. Not sure about next week if you're gonna get the volume, but I think this will be fun to keep an eye on for the next couple of days. Peter, Peter's in the
Carlos.
house. Hey.
Hey, well, I've just finished up my live trading with, although there wasn't any trading on my part, with my friends at P Capital. So I thought I'd come back and see
Oh,
how you were doing. Didn't want you to be
nice,
lonely
man.
for too long.
Uh,
You know what? I was so I wish I had remembered earlier and gone over earlier because I had my eye on Tesla. We talked about a pre-market. It was one of my
right.
favorites. I was short biased on it and perfect setup. I was just too slow. I only sort of got logged in and it all figured out about a minute and a half after the open, and by then I'd missed the initial move. But man, what a great move
Yeah.
on Tesla. That was my trade of the day, and I missed it. So
Yeah, I thought Say was gonna have a great day because Say's a lot of short stuff. I know you're more short bias on Trader.
yeah.
So there's so many stuff
Yes,
that was
indeed.
short. But
That
but yeah,
was
man, it's
I
been
was
a, it's been
looking
a
at it
heck of a
right
day.
at it was no, no kidding. I mean, again, it was right at 437, I think was my targeted entry. And it dropped like $2 in a second, like Tesla likes to do.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I'm
Yep.
not going
Yep.
to
Yep.
chase it at 435 because I thought the move would be to the previous day close, which was only about $3.50, $4 below that, right?
Yeah.
Little did I
Yeah.
know, of course, it was going to go all the way down to 420.
Yeah,
So,
man. Massive, massive sell off today.
yeah. Yeah. Anyways, that's too bad. I'm very sad for me. How about you? It looked like you were
uh,
short Microsoft. Is that what I saw?
yes. Yeah. So we shorted Microsoft twice. Let me get
Okay.
zoom in here. So we got the first breakdown here. 5 minute RB didn't work. Stopped out. Then we
Yeah.
got it again. Higher entry, and then this time it did work. So it broke down pretty nice here, And I gotta say, man, Atlas was a gem today because it really allowed us to stay in this
Okay,
trade. Yeah, so the orders just kept dropping, dropping,
good.
nothing towards the top side. And even here, when I took everything off, it was funny. I was telling the chat, if Peter was here and I tell him I'm taking everything off here at 428 and my entry's all the way up here, he's gonna say, "Why? Why are you doing that?" Because the Atlas, it looked just bearish, man. And I told chat, if Peter was here,
And
he'd be
yet you
saying,
still did
"What am
it.
I?" I still did it.
And look at that.
I I still did it. Oh, oh man. Um, but
You
yeah,
know what?
yeah,
That highlights one of the key problems in trading, right? Often we know what to do, we just don't do it.
yeah. I tell you, everything was there, and look, that would have turned out really, really nice. As we're trying to break down from the law of the day here. So, but yeah, it seems like the spy's just dragging everything down, man. Everything is short, short, short. Microsoft continues. Tesla, Meta, even though it gapped up, is been selling off. Not as clean as everything else, but you can see here as well, making a new low just a few minutes ago. Peter's sound is in your head. Yeah, you trade long enough with someone and you start hearing what they say. Like I still hear Brian when I want to short a strong stock. Never short strong stock. Like that. There's just little sayings like that just kind of get engraved into your head. So yeah, that just sticks with you. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, again, I consider that a good sign
Yeah. Yeah.
because that means you understand other people's strategies. You can start to identify them. But and it doesn't mean you have to do anything about it, but it gives you something else to be able to identify right on the charts and get comfortable with the markets. So
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's get comfortable with this. Is Peter's back? Let's go ahead and do our funded account. What about that?
hey, have we done the draw yet? Am I in
No,
time for the draw? Did
we're
I
gonna
get
do it
back
right
in?
now. We're gonna do it right now. Since you're back, let's do it right now. Funded account.
We're gonna be that
Uh,
guy. I joined just for
yes.
the draw.
We'll do that. And let's see. Oh, I have it here already. Okay, good. All right. Let's do it, friends. We had so much fun yesterday with the random numbers. I can't believe I got it, but we're not gonna do that today. We'll do hashtag BBT. Let's go back to
No, it's good standard. All
yeah,
right,
it's
why
good
not?
standard. Hashtag
Absolutely.
BBT. Let's put it on there. I'm gonna do it myself. Hashtag BBT. Hashtag BBT. Awesome. And let's give away a funded account. Um, a lot of people that I that email me that I give away the funded account to, they're actually doing a funded account that they pay for already. So they're like, oh, I already got a
Mm.
funded account. I'm working on it. So they have basically another lifeline, right? Um, that could be good and bad because then they could feel like, oh, I have another lifeline. I could be a little bit reckless. So hopefully that's not the case. Still trade, very good, very disciplined. So let's see here, friends. All right, hashtag BBT. 92 entries so far. And we'll see who our winner is for today. See, 99 people, 92 entries, 100 entries. It's so easy to win twice. You could get lucky. And we've done a few of these already. We started end of last year. We've been doing it every day. So we got probably about 25 winners already, maybe a little bit more. All right, friends, here it is. The funded account goes to Philip Riley, 3797. Congratulations, my friend. You are the winner. Philip Riley. Send me an email, carlos@babeltrades.com, and we will get you all hooked up, my friend. So congrats. Congrats on the funded account. Just a reminder, you do have to have a
I
premium
never win.
trading. I know, me neither. Me neither. There's gotta listen, man, we're gonna be doing this all year. There's gotta be me and you gotta hit at least once. I mean, jeez. Is there a way to put like extras on the moderators? Can we do that? Can,
No, no, I just you either win it fairly or not. That's all I want.
I guess. I, I guess, man. I don't know. Include moderators. I don't know. All right, it is what it is. Better luck next time. Yes, you did. I saw your email, Medi. So I will get back to you. I did see your email about the book option. So I'll send you the two options that you can pick from. Giveaway equities in Andrew's account. Yeah, I was just giving away all of Andrew's stuff. Right. Wow, guys. Could be a great day for reversals, except for Tesla. Tesla just keeps on going. Blue by 420
Yeah.
and continues. Ouch.
Well, that's what I said. I'm looking for. I'm looking for a reversal, and it's nothing set up yet. But Tesla, man, oh, Carlos, it's killing me that I didn't take it.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. And
What can you do?
if you had such an entry, I can see, you've been adding as well. So I can see you, maybe not here, but I can see you adding in some of
Yeah.
these here. I could see that because you
Yeah.
would have been so into the, such a big cushion with the VWAP here, with the previous day close. Yeah, that's would have been a nice short, man. Look at this. Oh, it's gonna go just mad right now. Keep losing ground like this. What's the next daily level? We lost 420. What's the 420 is probably the biggest psychological and daily level I will bet. Let me mark it down here, 420. And now let's look at it on the daily. Yeah, you can see just that area overall is probably gonna have a lot of touches. Um, and then next, maybe 409 as far as significant level of possible support or target if you're short, target. So, wow, beautiful. Is the free 7-day trial of Trading Terminal still valid, and does it come with Market Atlas? I don't know. Let's take a look. If there's a free trial, it does come with Market Atlas. So once you pay I know once you sign up for the premium version, you get everything except the funded account. So all the tools are there. There's nothing else you need to add on to get extra data. It's one price for everything. So, but I'm not sure about the 7-day trial. That I'm not sure about. I can log in and let's see if I get started. Start 7-day free trial. Yeah, it's there. Start 7-day free trial is right there. So that is still valid if you want it, friends. So check it out. Check it out. What are you thinking, Peter? You thinking reversal here, huh? You thinking reversal with a what are you thinking?
Yep. That's what I'm always looking for is the reversal play. And unfortunately, we need the market to support a reversal. So the market's still looking weak, no matter what. Tesla's bouncing a little bit, but no volume on it. Yeah, I don't. I'm not seeing anything really at this point.
Yeah. POTR, did you get a chance to look at POTR? Did you have it on your list? It's another great short today as well.
Yeah, I did look
It's
at. I
just
mean, I looked at
yeah,
it after the fact, but it just dropped off the open and just kept going. Yeah, it was a short
yeah.
all morning. In
That
fact,
was my problem.
let's see. I was looking at PLTR. Oh no, it wasn't PLTR. What was the one that I was looking at? That it was like all red on a 5-minute chart. It was like all red candles, like not even a hint of green all morning. Oh, it was Google, which was another surprising move down for me. We're in the first, like,
Yeah.
what, half an hour? All
Yep.
red
Yep.
candles, like not even a
Yep.
single green 5 minute. So
Yep. That's another one too. So good day for shorts. Great day for shorts. And I agree, POTR, that was my problem. It just left. Like I was looking at it, but there was no opportunity to get in on any pullback. It's just dropped, man. Microsoft was the cleanest one that gave us a little bit of an opportunity to jump in. How did you get the hotkey set up on the funded account? It should be right on here. So if once you go to the funded account, you should have this. Am I showing it? Yeah, this hotkey little button here. And if you click on this little pen to edit, then here are the hotkeys. You know, shift one. You could change it to like shift whatever you like. Buy, sell short. You buy percentages, sell percentages. Oh, that's good. You could reset to default. That's good. So in case you mess it up, you can go back to default. So yeah, so that's how you get to it. I will try it, but I don't want to mess up my buying power. I'm too close uh to the threshold, so I gotta like trade something small. Actually, you know, I could trade something small. Buy 25%. Shift R. Let's try Shift R. Let's see. So you gotta make sure you click on it too. Like you notice the blue. I made that mistake a couple of times. It did cost me. Make sure that you're clicking on the chart that you want to trade and then do the hotkey. So we're going to do Shift R right over here. Ah, that's fast. That's really fast. I like that. There it is, 30 shares on Tesla. That's a test. And then let me see, what is it to close it out? To sell all. How do I sell all? Sell max? No. Oh, scroll down. Oh, I didn't see this. Okay. Scroll down. Close all, panic, careful. That will close everything. Partial, partial, partial. How do I sell? I guess Shift A. It's a little confusing. So Shift A, because the 97% throws you off. If I sell max, it should be just 100%. Let's try, friends. I think I know what they're trying to say here. They're trying to say if you're going to short, sell max 90%, but if you're going to close, if you're going to sell everything, sell max. I think that's what they're trying to say. But again, the difference when the developer and the actual trader looks at it, right? So that's got to be a little bit more clear. But let's see. Let's test it. So what was it? Let's do it quickly now that we're in the profit. Where is it? Sell A. Shift A. Shift A. All right, here we are. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe we shouldn't sell just yet. Let's wait for it to go up. Let's make some money. Let's give it a second. Let's give it a second. What's the rush?
what's your rush?
That's,
PLTR has made a bounce here at the low.
oh yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, man. I think a lot of stuff is like really oversold, man. We might be having a great day. And this is why days like that start off like this are great for the whole day, usually, because you got the big sell off, overreaction, clear the market's not going to stay like that. You're going to get a rebound, hopefully, to at least VWAP. So today's a great day all around. So if you haven't had an opportunity yet, there could be some opportunities coming up here. All right, let's test this. So Shift A. What did it do? I don't understand what just happened.
What just happened?
This is not working properly. How do you close the position?
Hmm.
I don't want to close all, but I guess I could. I guess now I'm short. What? Yeah, that is not. That is That needs to get checked. Or do it, or it could be the user. It might not be this. It could be the user, right? So yes, and that looks like I'm short. All right, can we make money going the other way now?
It's like watching a new user. It's painful, Carlos.
It is painful. I'm feeling nervous just on this funded account. Like, what's happening? Oh boy. All right, friends, sitting at 365 like, and I already see Thor making his way in here. He looks a little bit warmer today, although we're freezing up here. It's like 3, Peter, up here. It's just insane.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
making me want the beach even more. I was looking at going for a run this morning. I looked, it said -20, and I'm like, nope, nope, tapping out.
Yeah, but was it -20 or is it the real temperature that it is?
No, that's the real temperature.
Because when it says -20, like that's not the feels like temperature, which I have found like is actually a thing up there. See, in Florida, if they say it feels like, it's the same temperature. Like it doesn't matter.
yeah.
But there it's like, oh, it's 0 degrees, and you're like, okay, that's cool. No, it's -20. Oh, it's -20. No, it's okay. It's like -50. Like you can be outside for 10 minutes and then you die.
Yeah,
right?
the so-called wind chill. Yes. The wind
Like,
chill
or
the
like
wind
we
chill's
call
a real thing. For anybody that's never been in the cold, it is an amazing difference between like if you just stand in temperature, like you said, Thor, if it's 0 and then you just get a little bit of wind, and yeah, the wind chill could be like -10 or -15. Like it makes a massive difference. Just a little bit of wind will kill you so fast.
So in Florida, we call that the smokers index, right? Because it's like who even knows what it feels like, right? The only person going out in that weather is a smoker. You know what I mean? Like because like they got to get out there. You know, nobody's breathing that air anymore indoors, so they're gonna make you go outside, and they're like, hey, while you're out there, what's it feel like? You know what I mean? He's like, fucking -40, man. You know, or there would be an A on the end of that since it's only a Canadian doing it.
That's correct. Yes.
So
all right. Well, we'll hand it over to you.
we're coming in hot, you
Stay
know.
warm. Are you tuking it? What do you look like here? Where's the Thor?
I'm good. You know, it warmed up a little bit. I actually did go for a run, Peter. I tried out some new shoes. I got some the Asics. Have you ever tried Asics?
Yeah, those are my pickleball shoes.
Man, so
basically all of my racket sport shoes are Asics. Yeah.
So check out my old shoes. So I had my earpiece just fell out. So I had these Nike Zooms, right? And look what happened to these bad boys. I mean, they're dead.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I mean, I think I put about 300 miles on them, and they just fell apart. Right.
Those are past dead. Yeah.
So they're dead. So I went to this shoe store, which was basically like going to like Harry Potter, like Ollivanders, where you get wands, but they do it with shoes. And like she's like coming up to you, and she's like, oh, you know, maybe this one. And she hands me like a box, and I try it, and it doesn't work. And then she's like, oh no, this one doesn't fit you at all. And then she goes, it does.
Setting you up.
I finally settled on these Asics, and I went for they're like called Nimbus, I think, which feels Harry Potter anyway, because you know. And no, I went for a run yesterday, and they were beautiful. They were very very squishy.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, after those ones you showed us, anything's going to feel pretty luxurious. So
I know, man. They were dead.
There you go. All right. Well, enjoy. And just the Asics, beware. I love the Asics shoes. The soles do wear fairly quickly, at least in my experience. So, but we'll see how many miles you get out of them.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Stay safe. We'll leave you with Thor. Have a great rest of your morning, guys.
Take care, everybody. Trade smart.
I will be right there in a second.
Processing.
Let's see. What was I thinking? Oh, you can't see my screen.
No, we have it. We have it.
Oh, it's there. Never mind. We're good.
Yep.
I just couldn't see it on there. Do, do, do.
You
All
just
right,
got
I'm
the
in. YouTube.
elevator music in the back.
Hello. All right, we got Dutch, we got Ben, we got Ian. So the first thing we have to do before we can transition to the next show is we have to properly let Peter go and Carlos go by putting in as many Peter and Carlos emojis as possible into the chat because this makes me happy. So
Let's do it. There you go. Help me, I'm melting.
oh, I love it. I
That's okay.
love it. I love it. Beautiful. Yay. All right. So we are now getting into it. So I have my screen up and I want to show everybody what we did today on my trades. I wanted to kind of start off first by kind of bringing in like this, this. I want to talk a little bit about like my week that I am having because I am having both the slowest week and like maybe one of the best weeks. I'm gonna get X pulled up so I can say hi to people that are over there. And I don't know why that started playing. X. We gotta go to Andrew. We gotta go to live. And there's me. Hello, me. And we'll say hi to everyone in X. Uncle Trades, good to see you. Catherine's on X. Ben is kind of bouncing back and forth between both, I think. Thank you, Ben, for that. I'm going to be trying to look at both. So if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about, X, feel free to do so. Obviously, same thing over here. It is Thursday, so we're going to talk about, kind of what we've got going on today. So my week has been a really interesting week. So on Monday, I had a really lovely trade on Monday, actually on RTY, and it really worked out really well. I had to close it out before the end of the day, but because of the distance move, I actually ended up making, a good amount of money on it. And then today, on Tuesday, I ended up not taking any trades on Tuesday because there were no calls and no good setups for me. And then on yesterday, we had an issue with some of the accounts. So I wasn't able to trade yesterday either. So I came in today like kind of not really like having a lot going on this week, which is not unusual for an FOMC week. So at the open, we opened and came up and alerted on RTY. So I went ahead and took a short on it and it immediately sold away from me. It's 5 contracts, so I'm risking $1,000 on this trade. And it dropped away from R3 at 26.74. We then squeezed up and took me out. So after this whole week, I get back in and I take a trade and the dang thing's a loser. Right? But it's not a loser, right? It's a great trade. I love my entry. I was targeting S3. It was positioned correctly. It had the right risk. The stop was in the right place. So everything about this trade was perfect, right? It just resulted in a loss. So when it came back up and it broke through this high, and I'll kind of show you this a little bit closer, I want you to see the deviation we had here. So we start making new highs. But as we're making new highs, you'll see that the buying and selling detector actually does not make new highs, right? So for all the effort we're putting in, we're actually struggling to go higher. So this looked like a fake out to me. And since we're in a lower, wider range, I plan on playing back into the range anyway. So once I saw it break out and stuff and then offer higher with low volume, I realized we were bumping into this downtrend. So this downtrend is not a very difficult one to draw. I didn't have 3 points on it, so I just went from this high to the big pullback. right? So which kind of is coming in here. It's a pretty easy one, but we basically overshot to offer it and then we sold, right? So when I noticed that we couldn't break and we were holding up near it and we stuffed, I went ahead and re-entered the short. This time I stuck my stop above the trend. It's still an R3 short in a lower, wider range, right? I just repositioned it a little higher, right? And you're right. There was a large order at 2680 on the book. Samim nailed that, right? So we squeezed for the trend where there was a large order camping, right? And so when I saw us reject that order and reject the trend, that gave me another entry, a signal. So I re-entered and then again targeted S3, same play, right? Boom, nailed it. Right? And this actually ran all the way out through ATR low and S4. So we could have held a little bit more on this one, but that's okay. That's not what I'm going for. So this trade distance is a little over 6R off my risk. So I lost 1R on the stop, and then I made 6R on the win, and I'm risking 1,000 per trade. So the total net on this was actually a little over 5 grand today on this trade, even though I got a stop. Milton trades. It's not a revenge trade because it's a setup, right? I'm not getting back in at a higher price than my stop. Actually, I got back in at when it made the new 1 minute low. So I got in because we squeezed above the price and took me out, and then we did not engulf, right? We actually struggled with low volume. We then were indecisive, and then we made a new 1 minute low. So I waited a couple minutes to get back into this, and I got into it on an entry signal exactly according to my system. Right. A revenge, and then I targeted my exact target to the other side. I don't there I don't think revenge trades exist, right? I just think there are trades that follow your system and trades that aren't following your system, right? So this trade followed my system to the T every single way, all the way through. So it was a viable setup, and I took it as such. When I got stopped out there were some people in my, yeah, that's good though, Milton. I want my entry to be higher. I get a better RVR that way. You know what I mean? So I'm not a momentum trader. I think this is maybe where you and I are a little not together. The higher I get, the better a short this is, right? This is a lower, wider range. We're not breaking out. We're going back to the middle. The further away from the middle I can get, the better we are. And actually, it's not even like really a higher price. Actually, my exit price was actually, if you look at this, you can see right here, Milton, my exit price was 2679.4. My entry price was 2977.2. So I actually got in at a lower price than my exit price, technically. But that's by circumstance. I got in because it was a new 1 minute low, right? If I'd have gotten stopped out and immediately fired, your entry price is higher the second time. No, it's not. It's not higher than my stop. It's higher than my original entry, but that's because it's in a different position. So I think maybe Milton, I just disagree on what you consider to be a revenge trade. You're saying because I entered higher than my original price or exit price, neither of those things to me define a revenge trade. So I think you're kind of making some arbitrary rules that maybe you've made for yourself or somebody else, and you're trying to apply those to me and how I trade, and that doesn't mesh. I'm going to enter when I think it's a viable short. And if it's a higher price, that's a better entry, right? I want it to be higher, right? I don't want it to be lower. That means I would be further away from premium. I want to be at the highest. I want a top tick and bottom tick every single day, right? So I just got stopped, and then it came and made a new 1 minute low. So I entered when it made the new 1 minute low with my new stop above the trend line. Right. I had very technical reasons for getting in and out of both trades. Right. I exited because of a risk metric. I re-entered because of a viable signal. Right. What if I got stopped the second time? Right. Like I don't understand your point. Even if I got stopped a second time, it wouldn't be a revenge trade as long as I took it according to the rules. If it stopped me out and then came back in and made another setup, I would get back. I could potentially get back in. I wouldn't, because if I took two stops, I would go for another ticker. If it takes me two times to get in, then either I'm wrong or the ticker is too choppy. So no, so if this had went up and broken the trend line, it would now no longer be an R3 short, right? We would be breaking up at this point, and it would be quite bullish by making multiple new highs. Right? But really the Milton, if it's all about the volume. The reason I re-entered was because of the volume. Right? So I got stopped out. When I got stopped out and we ran premium, we did it on a large volume buy candle that got stuffed. Right? So that's very weak signal. We then gave up higher highs, but we did it on lower volume. So we tried to offer premium, and then the response to that premium offer was an immediate sell. Right? And then we sell off. So for me, I would like to recommend, Milton, that maybe you change what it means to be a revenge trade. And I would like you to mirror what Days is saying. Days 306. Revenge trade is when you impulse trade to make back, not following plan, very emotional. I have no emotions why I was taking these trades. Right? They followed my plan. Everything followed all of my rule sets that I have in place according to my established system that I've been using for a very long time. Right? I don't revenge trade. Like I have I've been doing this for too long, and I've been, to do things like revenge trading. You know what I mean? It's just meh. It's 5 points higher. And I don't know. I use a risk key that calculates what my stops are. So it was around $1,000. There could have been a little slippage, a little not a little slippage, but it was around $1,000. So I use a hotkey to calculate it. So it could have been maybe 900, maybe it was 1100. You never know with the slippage on these. So, and then I made, a 6R equivalent in the other direction. So, but it should be right around $1,000. I mean, maybe a little more, a little less. Let's see here. Everything is rallying along right now, right? Right here. I have predefined risk keys that hit that. So like, I can go up here and select like in queue if I'm going to sell one contract at a certain distance. They're not very nimble, for the record. So what I do, Milton, is I do it like this. So we're longing right now because we exhausted our sellers. Yeah, so look, we just sold our asses off, and we just exhausted our sellers. So we're starting a cover rally right now. We're squeezing shorts. So people have been short all day. They're starting to take profit. It's called a cover rally. So someone asked why we were long, why everything was bouncing. We just got so low that people are profit taking. But notice how low the volume is. This is not a rally. This is a cover squeeze. Basically, we're starting to move higher, and because we're moving higher, short sellers are taking profit. And that's squeezing the price back up. But we'll probably offer all the way. We could offer all the way back to S4 without any issue. So, let's see. Thank you, Thor. This thing. Oh, appreciate that. Yeah. So Joe, it's all about point value. They're not actually dollars. There's a certain amount of dollar per contract per point, and I have 5 contracts. So it's basically every time it ticks, it's like $25 or something. Every point it's like ends up being 125 with the amount of contracts I have. The order presets are just a part of it. They're not the greatest though. I really wish they would put some more work into that. So what I do is like if I'm going to go short, for instance, let me go back to RTY. So like if I'm going to go short, when I hit the key, it'll normally throw my stop out much wider because it's, risking 5 contracts at 1,000. It might not even be all the way here, right? Sometimes it's up higher and I'll grab it and drag it down to the top of the box. So sometimes like my max risk. So I've told everybody here, I'm the only person who really partials their losers. And what I mean by that is I have a maximum stop, but I rarely use it, right? Like I can lose up to $1,000 in a trade, but most of my trades, like my RTY trade that I took on Monday, I made 6 grand on that. I only risked about $300 on that trade, right? Because at the 5 contracts I had and how tight my level was, I didn't need to risk as much. So I will have often smaller losers, but I'm always going to go for at least a 4R multiple of my maximum risk, right? So every trade I hit, it's going to make at least $4,000. This one, even with the loss, made well over 5,000, right? So for me, what's really important is I use technical levels, right? So I this is an R3 to S3, right? So I'm going short because we're at R3. My stop's going to be above high, and I'm going to run to S3. Now, actually, with my system, the target that was put on actually is an ATR low target. So I could have run this another, I probably could have run this another 2650 to 2630, another 20 points or so, right? But because this is S3 and we normally get such a big bounce there, I just go out at S3. That's the play. It's called an R3 to S3. So I'm just out there. You can see we bounced, but we are very weak in RTY. So we certainly could have held for ATR low and it would have worked, but that's okay. I was happy to just take the play, right? So this week, I've only taken 2 trades this week, right? Think about how much trading, right? I've only done 2 trades this whole week. Both of them were on RTY, ironically enough. Both trades made over 5 grand. Well, 3 trades. Sorry, because this trade has 2 trades. So 3 trades this week, right? And one of them was a loser. 2 of them was a winner, and I'm over 10 grand for the week. Lovely, right? And I may or may not be copy trading that, but we'll just say 10 grand for YouTube, right? So it's the least amount of work I've ever done in trading. I'm closing out. I'm going to close out my January. Assuming I don't do any trading tomorrow, I will close out my January as being the most profitable month I've ever had in my trading career. And I've only taken today it's 3 trades since that. So 16 trades this entire month. So, and it's by far the most profitable month I've ever had. So, like by far, like not even close. Right? So, I've had of the trading days available, I have not traded almost half of them because of no setup or a technical issue or I'm traveling. Right? So, it's just process, focus, being very hyper selective, having a really good indicator. I mean, the Camarilla pivot play indicator combined with the buying and selling detector for VPA for me has been just an absolute game changer. I pair that with Trading Terminals Market Atlas for reading order flow on the book for the varied futures I like to trade, especially NQES or like RTY, right? That gives me a little help on whether or not, oh yeah, look at RTY go, baby. This thing is so distributing today. I'm so happy. And this is really what I've been trying to move towards. That this year already and the end of December for me. Camarilla pivot plays is the name of the indicator, Hassan. This, I've been working for almost a decade for the past 2 months. You know what I mean? Kidda, absolutely. I'm absolutely going to keep increasing my risk. My goal was to be at $1,000 risk per trade by the end of the year. And it is January, and I'm already there. Right. I imagine I will likely try and double my risk by the end of the year. Oh my God, did you see metals today? Look at silver. Look at what silver did today. Silver did a freaking unicorn. Look, we called an R6 short on silver to the freaking tick. Look at this. Look at the offer. Look at the RVR on silver. Oh my God, it was so pretty and just a non-stop dump all the way down through S4. Almost hit S6. That would be a dang unicorn if that hit S6. And I mean, that's just the play, man. I mean, wow. I'm so happy to see silver do that. I mean, if you would have taken one contract of silver, you would be up like, I don't know, how much would this be up right now? One full-size contract. You'd probably up be like 40 grand or something like that, 50 grand on one contract. You could have risked like maybe $400 and been up like 10 grand or 40 grand or something insane like that on this ticker. I mean, it was the day on silver. It was so beautiful. So good. Look at that. Gold sold too. We just don't have a call on gold. We have a candidate, but not a call. So the boxes are RVR metrics. So when you're trading my system, the line draws so we call, and then when we hit the line, we draw the boxes. The box gives you a maximum entry window. Like you don't want to enter any further away than the box because the squeeze will likely take you out. So you ideally want to be in at the level or just under, and your stop should go above the box. If that's too much for you, then you can run the stop inside using levels, but the ideal position will be a short somewhere inside the dark box with a stop just above the pink box. And then if you do that, then you will hit a target. You will ensure that you hit at least a 4-to-1 target by the time you get down to here. And we highlight your targeted level. So you can see where you can see HF. So the check mark, by the way, is telling you that the play worked. Ta-da! Ta-da! So it was an HC play and we called it ta-da! Or whatever. Right? The HF play worked. Dun dun. Or so no, just kidding. This was the short, this is the profit location. Right? So we were doing an HF short, here's the stop, there's the target. Nailed. But in this one, because it's a unicorn, the reason we didn't call is because the ATR was way up here, but this does a unicorn today. I mean, pretty amazing. So happy. Also, look at Amazon. I think Amazon started to have a good buy here, but it failed. Really started to move up, but never could start buying. So it's just kind of chopping, but can see how the box works. Like even if you longed here and your stop was below the box, you're still in this position. So it lets you, because remember, my system is a day trading system, right? So I don't partial, right? I only trade, I trade entirely across the range. Think of me as like an intraday swing trader, right? But getting out on break even is pretty good on this one. We really have not started buying. So let's see. Anybody else? PLTR was selling. PLTR was not a call. We were selling too much. The VPA didn't fit along. IWM was beautiful. It's the same as RTY. What did Netflix do? Netflix was selling too much. See, this is why the buying and selling detector is so helpful. You're in the range, but you can't buy because you're not buying. And you can just tell it right here. This, if we were buying, we'd be above the line. We're not. We're below the line. So the only way to go long is to wait for us to exhaust our sellers. We have to get all the way down to this line down here. And sure enough, when you get there, we hit that line, that exhausts our sellers, and then we start bouncing. Now, this isn't a place to go long, right? So it's just a pullback, not a reversal, right? But you can see how well it worked. But in this instance, we're still selling, right? QQQ alerted here, still selling, right? So you could tell that the ones that called there weren't bounces. I don't know what YM called for. So, ta-da! SPY was perfect. Look at SPY at the open. Wow. I mean, come on. Look at SPY. Anybody else's system gonna do that for you? Bought up, signaled, came down, offered in, gave you the short opportunity right here. Stop in, stop there. All the way to target. Bam. R3 to S3, baby. That's my favorite play. And look at the melt on this thing. Wow. But look at that. Perfect at the top. Perfection. Perfection, SPY. Santo. So that I'm very honored and complimented by what you're saying. But no. I will show you my trades and I will explain them to you. I mean, cams are generic, even but no, Milton, cams are not generic. Thank you very much. Do me a favor. Why don't you ask questions instead of making assumptions? Okay, because you're speaking from an area of a lack of knowledge. You've done this in a couple of times now, where you're just kind of making statements, and I really want to help you, not like have to like fight with you. But if you keep making inaccurate statements, then I have to correct them, and it makes things kind of weird, right? So do me a favor and ask questions. Don't make assumptions, because my cams are calculated in a very specific way. It's a specific version of the calculation. I use a very complicated method for how I choose which version, RTH versus ETH versus which time frames I'm using. It's nothing like Pivot Boss's book. I've never even read Pivot Boss's book. Our cam systems are not the same. And from what people have told me, we don't even have similar plays. He plays like CP stuff that I don't play. You know, I mean, they're not even close, right? If you pulled up cams that he's putting and overlay them with mine, they will not be the same. If you pull up DOS's cams and my cams or DAS's cams and my cams are not the same. If you pull up the cams on TradingView that are the generic cams that come with TradingView, they are not the same as mine, right? I have a completely different Camarilla pivot calculation, right? That is my calculation and mine alone, and my playbook and system that I've been using for since 2020 to 2019 is completely it, right? So it's just not a thing, right? So it's just not a thing. I don't know what you're Melton, I've never read his book. I've never bought a copy or owned a copy, right? I'm sure I saw someone share a pivot sheet and I said, that looks pretty cool. So I used a similar structure because it made sense, right? But it's not the same thing. And that's all there is to it. So, I mean, I want to teach you and I want to help you understand it, but it almost seems like you're here to try and argue with me rather than just learn. So at a certain point, I'll just stop responding to you, I suppose. But I would really rather us all just get along and kind of have fun. So, but if you're here to try and prove me wrong, which I'm not, then it's just going to make it annoying, right? Yeah, they did the winner already. So no, I want to help everybody. But I mean, all 2-day pivot relationships are the same. If it's a higher, it's higher. If it's lower, it's lower. That's based on previous day's close. But I calculate mine, I don't know if I even calculate it the same way, but now you're arguing about an industry standard. Pivot relationships are just pivot relationships. You said I was using the same calculation, and I'm not. So I don't know what to say. I just don't even know what your point is, Milton. So I don't know, buddy. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to move on, right? Sorry. I mean, if I don't know. I don't know what to do here. I'm so confused, right? Like I feel, you ever have one of those moments where you're like I have these moments when I'm having an argument with my son sometimes, and then I have to get to this moment where I realize that he's more interested in like he's more interested in being right than being correct. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? He's just really interested about being right, but he's not interested about being correct. And so well, there you go, Milton. So maybe that's where I got it from. Maybe I got the cheat sheet from Mark, right? And then I liked the way that it laid out, so I used something similar. I'm sure that's possible in the very beginning, right? So I mean, I'm sure all those things are possible, but now you're talking about something that happened in 2019 and a random document that I was given by somebody that I looked and I said, "Oh, that looks cool." Right? But I don't do the same plays. I don't use the same calculations. Like all of this shit from Pivot Boss, I don't even know if that works or not. I can't speak to his stuff, right? I can just speak to my stuff. So are you interested in my stuff or do you want to argue about his stuff? You know what I'm saying? This is my system. I've developed it. I've studied it. I've tweaked it. It's got my cams, my calculations, the way I do them in a way that only I do them. Right? I don't know what Pivot Boss does with his stuff because I don't care. Right? I haven't read it. I don't know. Right? I have watched an executive series I did watch an executive series. Yep. It's not true, Milton. I disagree. So you and I are just going to disagree here, dude. Pivot Boss was not the genesis for crap for me. I didn't use his book. And the executive series that I watched was on price-based analysis or something like that. I didn't even read the cam part of that. So I just don't know, dude. You're just making all kinds of assumptions. There is no issue. You're just not accurate. And I can't get hung up on this because you're just okay, so there you go, Milton. So it wasn't on cams. Jesus. And I learned VPA from Anna Cooling. Has anyone in here actually read Pivot Boss's book? Can you speak on this for a moment? Is my system like Pivot Boss's system? Can someone in here that's read Pivot Boss, can they speak to that? Is my system similar? No, I'm going to ask YouTube right now, Milton. Similar but very different. I'll lean with very vivid. No, it's not at all. Reddit, it's nothing like that. Is that a secret of a Pivot Boss? I think so. Pivot Boss has different plays, not like yours. I'm in the middle of reading Secrets of a Pivot Boss, so let me know if it's the same, Tord. I've never read it. It's because it uses cams. It doesn't make it the same. True. It's similar, but uses CP a lot. Nope, yours is unique. It was boring, so I couldn't get through it. I've read the book. Thanks, Chris. Very different. As long as you call them Camarilla, I agree. Yes, similar, but plays are different. I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, so is that good enough now? Okay, we're done. All right, so we're gonna move on. So let's go back up here. Anyhow, I know Dutch. No, it's not under, I mean, I guess it's a little under my skin. That's true. You know what I mean? It's just I've got new people coming in here and I it's just important that like to me that stuff is where it needs to be. I don't want people to get confused and then start going off to other material thinking it's gonna be the same. So, and all I said is it's not the same. And then all of a sudden, this guy's talking about how it's the same, but it's not the same. So, I don't know. All right. So, would you also recommend one of the TV cam indicators that's technically close to yours? No, I wouldn't. Um, I don't want him to block Milton, by the way. Please don't block Milton. Milton was a BBT member for a long time. I care about Milton's like activity in this community. So him and I we're just in a thing here because he's just not being accurate and he's trying to force me to say something I'm not willing to say because he's wrong. So it's just but I don't want him to go anywhere. I just want him to like say, like we're fine, like, and just drop it so we can move on. So, I mean, I love everybody here. I want everyone to learn to trade and to be able to do this. So it's just really weird. Yeah, it's just such a bizarre thing. So, so my cam system, everything on my screen other than this clock are all programs that I've had coded and developed. Right. So each one of these programs have been developed to have a particular we had that had a particular I have a particular way or a reason I want to use every single one of these. So my cams are called the Camarilla Pivot Plays, right? And the Camarilla Pivot Plays, right, is a specific calculation using an insanely like this is my book, right? And it outlines how I put the structure of the cams into it, right? So I make a lot of decisions based on time frames, RTH, ETH. I recalculate based upon higher ranges, lower ranges, wider ranges, neutral ranges. Like I do a whole bunch of different things to these cams so that I get the exact, right? I get the exact calculation that's going to work the best, right? So a complete day trading system. So is the book. So you can see here so as you can see here, as we wick up into the level, we hit the level perfectly and then come off of it, right? So and this is because of this particular level. If you bring up DOS, for instance, and bring up SPY on DOS, and let me see if I can let me get a 1 minute chart here. Pop out. Load settings, 1 minute. Right? Look at DOS. DOS uses the standard cam calculation. Whose is better? Whose is better? Is mine the same? No, mine's not the same. Mine's better. Mine's the best. I have a lot of pride in my cams. I'm sorry. Maybe this is why I'm a little hot under the collar on these. These are my cams. I spent a lot of time, like tens of thousands of hours, crawling through charts, finding out what worked, and these are mine, and they're better than everybody else's. I'm sorry. They are. I'm not sorry. Screw it. They are. They're the shit. I love my cams. You like if you do you not like do you if I turn this on default mode, it falls apart, right? Right? No, Mitchell Twig is who invented cams, right? And I didn't invent them either. I just found the best calculation for them, right? Now I'm wasting my energy now. I love my cams. Look at this thing. I don't need to do any energy. We'll just put this picture up here and let you read it, right? They're my babies. They're amazing, right? Do they work all the time? Of course not. What did I say? I took one loss and then one win today. Still worked. I love y'all too. So thanks to Mark Douglas. That's for sure. Thanks to Mark Douglas. So I'll tell you about my journey a little bit there if you want, right? So my journey on that is I originally started it using a Fibonacci system, right? And as I was using a Fibonacci system, and it really looked so exactly. So I started using a Fibonacci system, right? And it was working, but it just wasn't working quite well enough, right? It just wasn't working. So I was looking for something that would auto draw, something that was a little bit better, right? So my buddy Mark Douglas, the real Mark Douglas, said, "Hey, you should check out Camarilla pivots." And that's it, right? Milton, you're wrong. It's just not true. Have you ever read Market Profile, for God's sakes? Hold on one second. Yeah, I'm sorry, Adrian. No, I'm trying to skip by. So I don't have moderator authority to mute people, right? So I'm just a presenter here. So, you know what I'm saying? So I can't stop him. So if I could, I would. You know what I mean? So that's part of the issue here is I don't have the authority to just mute and kick people. If I had, I would have muted him a long ass time ago. Um, so I just I bet I can feel like the so I'm trying. I have ADHD. Um, Hi Thor, have your book and Anna's. I set up the free cams and free TV to start, but I have toss and cams yesterday were off, specifically TV cams. Spy. Yeah, so the toss cams aren't the same, right? So the toss cams will be off and they're not updated, right? The only cams that I keep updated with my new formula, right, and the way I calculate them is through my system, right? The toss ones won't be the same, the DAS ones won't be the same, nothing will be the same. Nobody's cams are the same as my cams, right? So so you can download any platform you want and you will find that mine are different, right? So that's it, right? So if you're using TV and it's the free version, your cams are still going to look different because the free version does not have Thor mode, right? Thor mode is my specific calculation. See, this is how different they are, by the way. Look what happens if I go to DOS cams. There's DOS's cams, right? You think I don't know what I'm talking about. I have every single cam version available in my cams, right? There's DOS's, right? You could use the old TOS scripts cams to match it up, right? There's the old TOS ones, still not the same, right? You could use, these are bruzzes, we won't even go there, right? Or none, right? Just leaving everything open. These are those. So mine are Thor mode, and boom, there you go. Right? There are multiple calculations available. I have them already right here. I'm constantly modifying and adjusting the calculation based on relevant time frames, stats, and other things to make sure we always have the best cams available. And they are the best, as previously stated. You will not be able to get them on DAS or on that. How do I get your cams or your trading on NinjaTrader? So, you'll be in St. Augustine the week of April 26th. Yeah, you said that. I definitely want to do that. I would love to hang out. Exactly, right? So the cams that I use, Peter, are the reason why I have the calculation I use is because I've done the work, right? And I believe that my calculation most closely mirrors the major algorithms, right? So there's many, many calculations out there and many, many different ways to do the calculations, right? So that's the whole thing, right? So for me, it's not just about using cams, right? Oops. It's not just about using cams. It's about having the calculation that most fits what the major algorithms are going to do because many of our specialists like Citadel, right? Or one of these other things are just that. You know what I mean? So it's oh my gosh, I keep double clicking stuff. So this knowledge, right, that I gained not through any book. I gained from being on the NYSE floor multiple different times over the past few years and building relationships with people who are down there and learning how it really works. Right? That's where my knowledge base comes from. It's real tried and true knowledge, real experience from right down on the market. Right? It's just no big deal. Right? But it's what I learned and it's what I try to bring to you all every day is the best, most consistent calculation. I use TradingView is the platform that I use for my program. But that's true for all of my programs, right? I am also the creator of the buying and selling detector. The buying and selling detector is the first, as I know of, the first detector that actually performs volume weighted tick, right? Which allows us to actually tell if we're accumulating or distributing in the market using VPA, right? You can take Anna Cooling and stick her in here, right? This is the only one of these. I also have my own version of what I call ghost candles, right? They're volume weighted candles that actually use a specific counting matrix to give volume and weight to varied candles so you can see price directions significantly easier, right? These are all things that I've taken the time. This right here is my adaptive ATR limits, right? This actually projects where my targets are going to be based upon average trading range, right? So this is where all of this goes. I am not BruzzX. I am Thor Young. BruzzX is my developer. BruzzX is who brought these ideas to life because I am no coder and Bruz is a doctor of it. Right. So our man is Bruz. And Bruz is who developed these. So when you look, you will see these are provided by BruzzX. You'll see here, Camaria, where is it? Where is he at? Here's his name. BruzzX on there. Right? Yeah. See? Amazon. It's still holding. I mean, it was a buy here. If you ran your stop below the box, you'd still be in. Right? Ah, so much quieter. These are available on TradingView. I don't know which one's required, but if you have some of the less expensive versions of TradingView, you get delayed data, and that you're not going to want. I have the premium version. Thank you, Chris. That's very nice of you to say. And you're the only scalper I believe in. Unfortunately, this is only available in TradingView because only TradingView offers the deployment platform to do it. We originally had coded it into multiple platforms, but it's just too much of a hassle for me to keep up with. Because I have to maintain multiple versions of the code, and then every time there's an update, I'd have to roll it across multiple platforms. But like Thinkorswim doesn't allow you to do that, and neither does DAS or any of these other ones. So you basically just have to notify everyone that there's a new version, and then they have to like update. You know what I mean? So it just didn't work. So TradingView is where we decided to call our, to kind of really build this because the platform had the flexibility. Also, all of my plays come with alerts, right? So the first thing we do, like for instance, on this play here, as it's coming down, you'll see that the line turns green. When the line turns green, that's going to fire a candidate alert, right? So the first thing you get is you'll get an alert on Amazon as it gets close to it, right? And it says where are you? You should be down here. I don't know why I don't see the candidate alert. Maybe I needed to reset it. But there will be a candidate alert that will come through and tell you that it's about to act, as a candidate, it's happening. I need to switch this alert to once per minute. That's why it didn't do it. And then once it alerts as a candidate, right, when it hits the line, it'll send you another alert to say to evaluate it for entry. Because my cams are not default. My cams are Thor mode. You gotta have Thor mode, and which if you have the premium indicator, then you can get the options presets to do that. If not, you just have to recreate it, which is a little cumbersome because mine's, completely the same. Hmm. 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 My goodness. So it takes a lot of tweaking. Can you look at MU? Sure. Gladly. MU for me, as I've said multiple times, is like the ghost of Super Mario Brothers. It only moves when I'm not watching it. Yeah, because we only have 3 minutes, Gatsby. If you want to come by tomorrow, I'll gladly just open the whole panel there and just go through setting with you. If you take the time to recreate it, I don't care. You know what I mean? You know, I'll happily walk you through it as best as I can. So you can see here this was a higher wider range. So unfortunately, it's just not a play for me. So for me to have a play, when it opened, it was a possible play, right? Which in a higher wider range would have been an S3 buy. So we highlighted that level to let you know, right, that we could buy there, right? But we swept to the top side and then came down. That invalidates this play. For to sweep to R3 first, then come to S3 means this is not a buy. Right. So unfortunately, because we went up before going down, we will not take this trade. There's no expectation that we make a full range run at this point. Right. So if anything, you know, it's seen it even overshot all the way down to S4. So unfortunately with MU, I would just not take a trade on MU. Most likely it is going to chop up and down between the CP and S3 for the most of the rest of the day. Right? So your ATR high is sitting right at CP, right, as well. So I mean, I wouldn't expect to go much higher than that. And then we'll come back to S3 and just ping pong. So you'll get kill zoned in here pretty rough. So sweet, everybody. Well, I appreciate everybody hanging out and talking about this fun trading day. You know, it's really so much fun to get to hang out with you and just go through trading on a regular basis. I would encourage everybody to continue coming by. We always have fun schedule. Wednesdays is always with Dr. V. So it's a lot of fun. My goal here, obviously, is I want every single one of you to be able to gain the joy and the freedoms that come with trading, but in the right way. So I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you all in BBT members Thursday night mentoring. I'll see you there.